Yeah, it's live. All right, welcome everyone to B3 GamingCast episode 29, where we're trying to still give away a copy of Shadow Warrior 2. Your host, as always, Janzer. And we have a variety of other people here. It's Count Chocula.
We have a cast of characters. We're
Yes.
giving away that Wang again.
Yeah.
And I guess that was Count's intro. And then we
I guess so.
Oh.
I guess we also have Gamertron.
Hey, hi. How you doing? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day, wonderful night. It's been an awesome, awesome week.
There you go.
For you.
With his normal level of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
That's not too much. That's normal for him. So don't freak out.
I'm so freaking out right now.
Oh,
Hashtag
man.
freaking out right now.
Yeah. We're having some weird volume issues, but hopefully that's all worked out. And is there a new Twitter thing out to retweet? It should be that one there. B3 GamingCast episode 29. This one right there. That should work out. All right. So for those of you listening and not in the chatting, y'all missed out on a giveaway of Shadow Warrior 2. Hopefully. But yeah. Everyone else want to start off with? I know two of us at least have played Titanfall. Oh wait, I forgot our guest.
I was going to say, are you going to say that we have
Our
anybody?
special guest. Yeah, 109 volts, our special guest, part of the B3 community, and I'm trying to roll through to the first topic.
Yeah, it's
Hello, everyone.
It's Gamertron's third cousin.
Wait, what?
The fuck?
Y'all are all Canadian. That's why.
Canadian. I don't understand Canadians. But anyway.
No, being Canadian doesn't automatically mean we're inbred.
Wait, no. Whoa, hey.
How is a third cousin being inbred, Gamertron?
Yeah.
I didn't
It's
say you
just got
two
awkward.
had a thing going on. I just said,
I didn't say
Yeah.
that.
maybe you guys were related or something. I don't know.
Wow.
We live
I
in
don't-
different provinces.
Mhm.
Provinces.
He lives in a good one.
See, I don't
Next
do
thing you know,
provinces.
they're exactly the same.
Wait, what?
See, I don't know this province. I don't know Canadian territory bullshit.
Canadian land.
Yeah.
Who knows?
A province is basically a state.
Oh, okay. All right.
Really, it's just Canada being special. We have different names for things.
I thought
Okay.
the states were the ones trying to be the special ones. Oh well.
Well, we're always trying to be special.
Yes,
Especially
you are
Texas.
wonderful.
They're always
individual
always
person
trying to be their own
special.
country, Texas. But that's
Sure.
okay. Janzer's moving to San Francisco soon anyway, so it's all good.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Whatever. You know, that
Wait,
would
what's
be
wrong with San
lovely.
Francisco?
That would be amazing if that happened. But
Well,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna put my bet on it because that's one of those like I'm throwing a fucking Hail Mary.
Well, how do
know?
how do you interview? Are you good
Very
in an
well.
interview, or are you an asshole like you
Yes.
are to us?
I'm very.
I mean,
much-
what?
Shit.
I very much toe the line between being an asshole, which comes off as confidence, and yes.
I'm just
So-
kidding, old buddy.
Holy
no,
crap,
it's-
that
it's
hurt
true.
me.
Old.
Jeez, that
Well,
was
there's nothing wrong with
punching
speaking the truth.
How
It's
did
just-
that hurt you, Gamertron?
That was
Don't
just
be
like
an
that,
SJ,
that's such a
Gamertron.
jab.
Don't be an
You got hit by the
SJW.
shockwave.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
gonna-
been to San
Please.
Francisco a long time ago.
I'm going
It's
to put
a
you in
nice place.
detention. I'm going to put you in
Apparently it's
detention. If
Extremely
Oh.
expensive to live
Yes.
there, though. So
Yes.
I would, yeah.
San
Anyways.
Fran is expensive. If I'm too loud, guys, just say something in the chat, and I'll turn my audio down a little bit. I may be a little loud, a little rowdy tonight.
I'm trying to configure all my crap
Yeah, I'm still working
on
on
my
it. so-
system. Yeah, it's like I'm too loud to myself. I can hear myself really loud, but then I need you guys to be loud. And
Let's all just be loud and
all
obnoxious
You want
Skyrim.
tonight.
loud? You
how does this
freaking want
normally
loud?
work? How does this normally work?
I don't know. Normally,
Okay.
you take care of the streaming, Janzer. So
That's true. Yeah. All right.
I think we're good
Anyways.
though. Nobody's
Yeah.
complaining. So
This
know.
is bullshit. Can we talk about video games?
Yeah,
Well,
let's
Yes.
let's talk about
yes.
and Breakfast Club and video games and
By
the
throwing
good
the
shit in
weight
life.
On me. Okay.
saying I'm louder than
Yes.
the others, but not ridiculously so. Okay,
We're
that's good
sending in
feedback,
votes
Jake.
First, there we go.
Yeah, we have our
All right.
special
Don't
guest
fuck it up.
Bolts. All right, Volts,
right,
we'll be back in
so-
a half an hour. You talk
It's
a
true.
half an hour about DLC. We're all going to leave. We'll be back, all right?
That sounds
Alright,
good.
Yeah, I don't know.
So-
but I'm staying here. I'm not going anywhere.
Wow.
God damn it.
Alright.
You're going
Let's
into
just see.
detention. Eat my shorts, all right, buddy?
Wow.
So
okay.
let's
Okay, Bart Simpson.
This is getting
all right.
rude.
that's the Breakfast Club. That's where Bart Simpson got it from. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Go
I
ahead,
think you
Volts.
could have
I'm
said
sorry.
Anything at
Alright.
that point.
Alright, so Doctor 3. Ashes of Arendelle. That DLC is a short game. It's very short, but it
So you're saying it's not worth the money?
Ah,
I don't
That's-
know what that sound means, Vault. That sounds like you okay? Need some help? Need some time?
well, the price is, I guess, is alright. But I currently have the the season pass for it, so that gave me a little bit of a discount, but not a lot. And as for its price in terms of is it worth it, depends on your perspective. I just saw it for the weapons and for its content, and thankfully it had the arena, so hopefully that will give it some life a bit.
Well, I was watching you stream it the other night
Yeah.
for about an hour, and they were kicking your butt, Volts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking wolves.
What do you have to say?
The wolves are a pain in the ass.
After talking shit to Gamertron about how good you were at the game, you were kind of getting your butt kicked. I mean, I don't want to put
I
you
have
on
no
the spot
problem
or
with the
anything.
Sky enemies
I'm-
and followers.
When did Volts ever talk shit to me? What?
I'm just, oh my god.
All of those times. I read a few article titles that said that the DLC was boring.
Ooh.
Does
Dark
that
Souls-
sound?
What?
Does that sound accurate, or is this hyperbole?
Okay, I need to interrupt for a second. How do you make Dark Souls boring? How does that even work?
Well, some people might think it's boring. I don't know.
I did find one area that some may find boring, but honestly, I found that to be the best area. You're just going up a mountain area. You find various follower enemies and positioned differently. Some will be above you, throwing javelins at you, and you'll find the occasional wolf. Fuck 'em.
What? You'll find a wolf and fuck him? What
well,
are you
no,
talking
well,
about?
no, you have to
Ah.
kill the wolf
I didn't
before he
mean wolfing.
howls,
I
because the howling that will attract more wolves, and then they just
Yeah.
gang up on you and beat the shit out of you like they were doing wolves.
Yeah, and I think the AI is programmed to
Find
whoever
the
you're
wolf
not
and
looking
fuck
at.
it. Wow.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. It just.
Whatever. It seems that whichever wolf is behind you and you're not looking at will prioritize the attack. So they'll try to suckle you and
Suckle you? Did you say they'll try
I
to
Circle.
know,
suckle you?
that's it. I don't know what's
Circle.
going on here. I know what's going on, actually. You've been watching too much Plague of Gripes. That's the problem. Wolves suckling you and having relations with
I
wolves.
have
Oh.
been looking at this art.
That's true. And I've seen what you've been drawing too, so lewd much. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay,
You're a halfway
has-
decent artist, Volts. I don't
Yeah,
know how
he's-
serious you take your art, but
He has good character like drawings. Yeah.
what you
I'm
need
not
to
sure
do
about
is,
the most latest one, the whole fucked up face one.
well, I was going to offer you some work. I was going to have you draw a 3-character of the B3 GamingCast for our stream.
Oh my
Oh.
god. There
Yeah.
you go.
Oh jeez.
But it has
Oh
to be
my.
No, I mean, don't make it look all creepy,
It has
except
to be-
Gamertron. You can, he's a little cringy. You can go ahead and make him look a little creepy, but I mean, the other two.
And
Yeah.
you're off the Christmas list?
it has to be like
Damn it.
something. There's got to be some kind of twist to it. I guess it could be just that.
Like
or you could make
cartoony,
them- Yeah, or you could make them like
a little
well, Halloween's
creepy.
already passed pretty much. So, anyways, who cares?
Alrighty, working.
What's the next one? Will be turkeys.
Well, you got PayPal. I can pay you for your time,
B3 turkeys.
Oh
B3
my-
turkey cast.
I can
Gobble,
I can
gobble.
gift you a game for your time,
Mm.
Maybe like a
Okay,
three,
don't put them on God's spot.
like a
I'm listening.
$3.99
Dark
game or
Souls
some
3.
shit.
Yes. Going back to Dark Souls
What's-
3. Now,
I'm sorry.
What's
Vault-
in the
Vault's,
game? Go ahead. Sorry, Gamertron.
Okay, well, I want to ask Volt, since I'm a bit lost here. Okay, so this new DLC, Ashes of Arendelle. First of all, Volt, how do you enter the DLC? How do you start the DLC? Do you, like, go to a bonfire and teleport, or is there just, like, a whole new area you have to discover?
You'll find it as you're playing the game normally. As soon as you enter the, I guess, I forgot what the church is called. It's the first church
Deep, the Deep, the
Yeah,
Deacons
Deep
of the Deep
Church.
area? Okay, the Deep Church, okay.
whatever as soon as you enter the first church after you fight that crystal sorcerer boss,
Okay.
you'll see an NPC and he'll be holding on to a sort of a piece of painting.
Okay, so they've added a new NPC that takes you to the new area.
Yeah, and he basically says, "Here's a painting. Go ahead, touch it."
Oh, so this is like a reference to the painted world from the first Dark Souls.
Yes.
Yep.
Ah, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Now, very huge reference there. Are there any more Dark Souls 1 references in the DLC?
Woman with a scythe.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Dragon Woman.
Yeah. Basically.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, how have they changed up the gameplay any somewhat in the DLC? I know they've added new enemies and it's a new environment, but
I don't know. For some reason, the game seems smoother.
smoother?
Yeah, I think they updated the whole graphics thing. I think it doesn't really. For me, it's not lagging as much. I refought one of the bosses, the one that gave me a lot of graphical hiccups. It's smooth.
Hmm.
Are you talking about the whole game or just the DLC part?
The whole game.
The entire game. Yeah, they might have upgraded.
Or I probably did not change my graphics back. Probably set to all low, and
Oh yeah.
that could be it as well. So
Could be.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, that's not really like a graphically intensive game, is it? I've never played
for my
Dark Souls. I played
computer, it is.
Bloodborne, but
Dark Souls free on PC, like, it's not too demanding,
Yeah.
but you can get some very pretty visuals out of it.
so
So, with
There's
any
only-
new Dark Souls DLC, like, there's new enemies. So how are the new enemies compared to how different are they from the enemies of the base game?
I've already gone over the followers. They have torches and they breathe fire on you. I've gone
the
over the wolves. There's Viking dudes. They're the ones that kicked my ass the most.
Vikings?
well, you have to climb those stairs and fight that one, and that's kind of you tried to push him off the ledge, but
Yeah, but then I ended up pushing myself off because I was attacking too much and I was walking forward while attacking.
those guys are tough, though.
Yeah.
I mean, is that considered a boss, or is that considered like a
They're-
mini boss, a sub boss, or what? I mean, those guys are rough.
Yeah, and there's many of them, and some of them actually have wolves following them.
Oh, okay.
So, if you consider my opinion back then about the wolves, pretty much the same. And apparently, I missed a section of the game but apparently, some of the Vikings are able to create shockwaves. You could say that.
Oh, I
Put their-
hate shockwave enemies.
Oh, like
Ugh.
an AOE type
Yeah, there's two
stagger.
different weapons they use. It's sort of a hammer that creates a shockwave when they lift up the weapon. And there's another shockwave weapon, which is an axe, which they slam it on the ground, creates a shockwave, but a few seconds later, right on your exact position, it will create a shockwave. It's called the Earth Seeker.
Okay, so this is a weapon both the enemies have and you can obtain.
Yes. You can
Okay.
also obtain that hammer thing.
Nice, nice. Oh, so what about the brand new environment? From all the promotional material we've seen, there's an emphasis on snow. There's an emphasis on cold weather and stuff like that. And I can't recall No, I don't think there's any like areas in the game that have snow or cold and stuff like that.
The only-
So
Yeah, the only games I can remember snow being in it are the other Dark Souls games.
okay, so how does this new environment fare? Like, have you found a lot of secrets? Is it a maze? Is it well connected?
I did discover that there is actually a fork in the area. I didn't actually have to fight those Vikings. I could have just count. As soon as I fell down that snowbank, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
I could
I
have
had to
just
go to
gone
work.
left and
I stopped
skipped all
watching you.
the-
But
As soon as I fell off the snowbank, I could have gone left up a hill and skipped all the Vikings.
Okay, so
Strange.
there's multiple paths in the environment.
Yeah, but then it just converges again and turns into a straight line, you could say.
Oh, okay.
Until you reach the up the hill battle, where you're just finding your way up the hill that has multiple paths to it and multiple weapons you can find. That I actually missed.
Oh, okay. So there's a lot of weapons in this DLC.
Yes, there is. I missed the follower torch.
Oh, you can get... Wait, isn't there already a torch? Oh, this is a different kind of torch.
It's a different kind of torch. This one has its own weapon art.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
And there's
biggest
only
thing...
two.
Oh, sorry, no, go Vault, sorry.
Also, there are only 2 bosses.
Only 2?
Yep.
Huh, that's,
There's the optional
That's
boss,
interesting.
and then there's the main boss.
Wow, that's actually very surprising. With with Dark Souls
But-
2 and its DLCs, there were at least 3 or 4 bosses. Only 2 this time around. That's
But
interesting.
that kind of sort of puts you at the mind of I forgot what the state is called. In state of calm, or fuck it, whatever. You think, oh, this is gonna be easy, but once you fight the boss and defeat it, it has a second form.
Oh,
You
of
def-
course, yes.
And you go along, you fight the boss, you defeat it, and then rewards you with a Titanite slab. And you think, oh, that's it? Nope. Third phase.
Oh, a free phase boss. Really? There's
Fuck the third phase.
That's more like Bloodborne, right? Where Bloodborne, most of the bosses there have multiple phases.
some
Yeah.
of them do, yeah.
Well, in Dark Souls 2, like, every boss has, like, 2 phases. So they borrowed that from Bloodborne. But free phases? This is new. They went the
Yep.
extra mile with this boss.
So did you beat the new DLC? Did you actually finish it?
Yes, I did. For the main boss, I did actually have to summon someone for it.
Oh, so you had to do
Yeah.
a co-op.
Pussy.
Yeah.
That's the one who cheats.
That's
Yeah.
why it's funny. It's ironic.
Yeah, but I mean
So-
that's part of that's not technically cheating. I mean,
It's within
they
the
have it
game's
in the game.
mechanics.
They have it in the
Yeah.
game for that. So yeah.
So this is just what, an extension of the story, giving more lore?
Yeah,
Okay.
in a way,
then-
it pretty much is.
So you got the 2 new bosses or whatever, and then I know you also have like a PvP arena. How does that play into it with the lore? Or is it just there because...
It's there because
Okay.
you
Fair enough.
you have to beat the optional boss of the DLC to get it.
Oh, okay. That's
To
that's
unlock the
interesting.
arena, the PvP arena.
Yep.
Have you
so
tried it?
You have to earn PvP, basically.
Yes. And to get to it, you have to go through the repeat section of the 2 Silver Knights in Dark Souls 1.
Oh, so not only do you have to fight a boss, you have to fight difficult enemies before the boss.
Yes.
Oh,
but
lovely.
just to add to the difficulty, the Vikings arrows that they shoot, so like Dragon Slayer arrows, they explode.
What?
They explode.
So not only are they shooting giant arrows at you, they're shooting giant arrows that explode.
So if you don't get hit by the arrow, you have a few seconds to get away from it, but after that they explode.
Wait, let me
Are you-
guess. This is on a tight, narrow pathway.
Yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh,
Also,
man.
one thing that really pissed me off, this is one gripe I found that I had, the Vikings. Even though you can stagger them, and if they have their arrow notched, you stagger them, they glitch out to go back to their arrow stance and just shoot it.
Oh, that's not good.
Nope. So then once you get to the boss, you realize that, hey, the boss is accompanied by wolves.
Oh, what? Oh, man.
But,
Do they keep respawning?
no,
Oh, okay.
at least.
Yep.
Just
Well,
to
that's not
give
too
you a bit
bad.
of, just to give you a bit of a relief, once you reach the bottom of the area, once you get to the boss, there's actually a bonfire sometime before. Just go back a little, keep your eyes to the left, and you'll see the bonfire right there.
Okay, so they at least give you a checkpoint.
Yes.
Awesome.
But if you continue going to the left, you'll end up finding 3 crabs.
Crabs?
Well, just
giant crabs.
just spoil it. Wait, just spoil
Yeah,
it for
I was gonna say,
everyone.
I don't know what you're talking about, and
Yeah.
unless you're
Oh,
playing
sorry.
the game, I don't think people are gonna know what you're talking about.
Okay,
But
sorry.
that's why we try to keep it a little general or whatever.
Yeah,
Damn.
a little tip.
What's wrong, Jam?
Sorry about
No, it's stupid ad. I accidentally clicked away from the page and then went back, and then
You
it
need-
doesn't add. Twitch still does the ads.
You
with
need
no volume
Amazon
control.
Prime.
Oh,
No
hey,
volume
you know what
control.
else I noticed? If you pause a live stream and unpause it, it will play another ad.
Well, of course.
This reminds me, though, of a little trick that I read about. You can just go, if you're in Chrome, I don't know about in other browsers, but you can right-click on the tab, and there's a mute tab option. I totally forgot about that. I just learned that trick, and I'm going to use it right now. Ah, so good.
So what system, like what's your gaming setup, Volts? I noticed you had an XLR microphone.
XLR.
Yeah, you had what was your?
Brand.
Well, no, what kind of microphone did you have? I was watching you stream, and that was the first time I'd seen you stream with a webcam.
Oh yeah,
You were getting kind of pissed
Um,
off.
ART, Applied Research Technology. It doesn't really have a name on it.
Oh, okay.
M1 USB.
Because it looked good. I mean, it's a USB mic.
Yep.
Oh, okay. But
It doesn't really have a lot of volume control. So.
your stream looked pretty good. So
Hey,
I was just
Thank you.
curious of what your gaming setup was.
Okay, so
But
Something.
you know, if you don't want to talk, if you
He's
don't want
got
to talk
he's
about
got
it,
an older rig for
That's
sure
what-
because I had gifted him a version of the Division and he couldn't run it. So
you couldn't run the Division.
it's
Nope.
well, we did talk about how
Oh, that's right.
heavy that game is when it comes to video graphics, and I've had my issues with that with OBS Studio, but we'll get into later.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the Division 1.4.
I got apparently every lighting in that game is a disco ball.
Yeah.
That's
all
not
right.
good.
So Volts, to wrap this up, overall, did you enjoy the DLC? Is this what you were hoping for Dark Souls free DLC, or were you disappointed? Did it meet your expectations, surpass them, that kind of deal?
It's an alright section of part of the game. Just a bit.
How
short.
much did the DLC cost?
In Canadian dollars, $14.99.
Okay.
Well, that's what
So
it is
that's
in.
like-
With the season pass as well.
Yeah.
It's the same
Wait a
cost in-
second. You said $14.99, but that's American because that's what it is in U.S.
It's a CDN for me. $14.99.
Oh, really?
What the fuck?
There we go.
Because
So
normally
it's the
it's
exact same price. That's interesting.
normally it's more money for. See, we're getting ripped off because it should be
What
cheaper
the
for us then. I mean, once again, the United States is getting ripped off.
How long did it take for you to beat it?
3 to 4 hours, I
3 to
suppose.
4 hours. Okay. But
Well-
then you still have the PvP arena, which what's new? Isn't there something new about the PvP arena?
You can duel. You can have up to 6 players brawling.
Right.
Oh,
there you go. The
okay.
free for all. Right.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So
free for all.
there were certain things that I knew that I was just seeing if you would like actually bring up or not, but
You-
it's all a lot
Set
to
up-
try to do on the spot, so I
Yeah,
understand.
and you can set up passwords just to fight privately.
There you go.
Oh, there's
And-
private matches now.
1v12 me, bro. Yeah.
So
And
the
there's
6 on
rankings.
6 is a free for all. You can't have like team.
Yes, there are teams.
Oh,
3 versus
okay.
3.
All right.
And there's a ranking system, much like competitive games.
Okay. All right. So they have a more contemporary, understandable multiplayer, basically.
Yeah, I'm currently silver rank.
Okay. So they've made a better multiplayer, but they've locked it behind a difficult boss battle.
And the DLC.
So you have to get the DLC, fight this difficult boss in order to get the PvP that's easier to get into and allows you to play with your friends easier.
Against each other, yeah.
So it's pay
Well
to
done,
win.
From Software.
just
Well
kidding.
done. Thank you.
It's-
Thank you, From Software.
Hopefully they add in something within the main game that allows players to access, but so far there's only one map, and I have a funny feeling that more maps will be added, but to unlock those maps you have to find items for those.
Is that funny feeling in your pants?
Maybe.
What is it with games and doing the winter theme right now? The Destiny,
Probably
Rise
'cause
of
it's
Iron was all
winter.
winter.
It's almost winter.
Oh, jeez.
Probably. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
So okay, so every DLC around September, October is going to be winter. Really?
I don't know, man.
What about autumn?
It's in the
it
Ten
was an easy
Commandments.
one for me to go to. I don't.
Don't bring up the 10 Commandments to me.
What? I don't understand.
It's a joke.
Oh, I know. I'm kidding.
Okay.
And gaming commandments that were
mhm.
broken by Hello Games. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, what not to do?
Oh.
No,
man, there's
you know
more
what?
news on them. If you
Aliens-
guys
Yeah,
want
there
to-
is.
This guy was a
Marine.
mistake.
Aliens Colonial Marines, that was the what not to do, and people fucking did it anyways.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen again. Let's just
Mm-hmm.
really want-
Go ahead, Volts. I'm sorry.
I may sound weird, but I really want to play Aliens Colonial Marines unpatched.
you want to play the original train wreck.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Just for the hell of
The
it.
That would make a good
glitchy
YouTube
mess.
series. Yeah.
Where the aliens would go through walls and glitch out and get stuck in the environment and shit. And yeah.
I can understand the novelty of wanting to play that, but I'm not sadistic enough to do it.
Yeah. Only issue is its price.
Yeah. it's
Didn't they
still
bring
like-
down the price for Colonial Marines?
Oh, yeah, I
Like
bought
15
it
bucks?
for like a couple
Actually,
dollars.
it's on discount.
Ah,
it?
there you go.
I bought it
Well,
for a
its
couple
original
dollars.
price is $33.99.
I bought
Is
it for
it
like
three?
$6.99.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
during a winter special a couple years ago, or something. Not a couple years ago, but last year I think.
It's $8.49 for me.
Oh, okay. We'll see. That's that Canadian conversion.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Cool. So,
Fuck.
would you recommend people to bother with this, or is it really just only a Dark Souls fan kind of thing?
Dedicated Dark Souls fans
Sounds
who
like it.
are into PvP.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like it. Cool. So it's totally skippable.
Or
Jans, you haven't even beaten the regular Dark Souls 3 game
I haven't even
yet.
turned it on.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
talking
That's,
about-
yeah, when are you going to play a game?
it's like me and Shadow Warrior.
You know, trying to get a job and start up my own company.
Who needs a
I mean, I may
job?
not be working a 9 to 5, but I'm still working longer hours now because of that. So
Who needs a
you know,
job?
that's how it is. Well, I do, unless you want to support me. You got a little
Shit.
trailer in the backyard. You can just
Sure,
throw me-
Janser. Move
some
over to
Wi-Fi.
fucking bumfuck rural
Give me
Indiana
some
if you
Wi-Fi.
want. No problem, man. I'll put
Then
you.
you'll be bitching.
I'll
at
put you up
using
in the
all
laundry
your-
room. You can share a
Oh,
bed
that's
with
even
the
better
cat.
than I was thinking. I've done that once before. So
And
you joke, but I stayed in the cat room before.
I'll stock you up with frozen pizzas. You'll be happy. We can have a little. We can have the broke guy's streamer house. Me and you.
I'm sure your wife would find that really really helpful. So It's like another person. What the
Well, when
fuck
she
is wrong
leaves
with
my
you?
ass anyway, I might start a streamer house. So.
Oh man.
Oh man, well you got to do it in Canada though. Remember?
Oh, exactly.
Only in Canada.
Only in Canada.
She's talking about moving to Vancouver, so
There you go. Bring on our Lord, our overlord Trump, and then Count can get going.
hey, we'll have a streamer house with Tron and you, and throw Volts in there, and
take in vagabond gamers, just
get
destitute
RPG
gamers.
and Graham, and the whole.
There you go.
Phil.
Well, Graham's
Oh,
got a
man.
future still. He's
Phil.
getting a new car, so
Who Graham is?
Yeah, he's classy as fuck now.
That
with
bastard.
His, I know.
Moving on.
Moving on. So are we good? Is that Dark Souls free DLC?
Anything else?
You just don't sound very excited about it, Volts.
Wait, what?
You don't sound excited about it. You just kind of. I don't know.
I don't know.
Wait, I don't think you're going to be a spokesman for From Studios or however you pronounce it. Anytime soon. I don't know. From Software. Is that what I said? What I say? From Software. From.
Who knows?
Until they
Fromage.
bring Bloodborne to PC, then I'll talk highly of them.
I'm better than you at
But-
Bloodborne, Volts. Did you know that?
Fun?
I'm better Bloodborne player than you. Did you know that?
That's because you have a PS4.
It's because he has Bloodborne.
No, I sold it on eBay actually.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh,
One of the few games I actually bought a hard copy of, and then I got so pissed off at the final boss, I just sold it on eBay the
What
next
is this
day.
garbage? Get it out of here. $2.
I'm sorry.
Pay for shipping and it's out.
I didn't know you back then, Volts.
That's true.
excuses.
Or I wouldn't.
Anyways.
Alright. What's the next topic?
We don't have top. We just kind of flow. We just kind of wait for Janzer
We do
to
have topics.
direct the
We
show.
do
Yeah, let's
fucking
get
have
let's get
topics.
on with some topics. Go ahead.
Next topic. Cup
Next
of water.
topic. Oh shoot! Oh, Mike almost fell down. Okay, well, how about we get the bad news out of the way, then we get to the really good stuff.
I
Is
think
that
we
okay?
all are sharing topics tonight because I think I know what bad news you're talking about.
Yeah, Evolve
Yeah, go on.
Stage 2. It's done. It's over. The 2K has pulled support. Turtle Rock will no longer be working on and developing the game. And this happened right after their latest update where they added a new monster. That's...
Fuck.
Wow. I really don't know what to say. I find it very odd that... I know that...
It's actually not a new monster. It's a
monster variation.
It's a variation. Yeah.
It's a new form of behemoth, but yeah, I just
Only
like I
behemoth.
understand from a business perspective. I understand why 2K cut support. They just recently introduced the microtransactions, and from what they've been saying on the forums, like literally no one was buying them.
The game
And
ain't
this is a
making
free-to-play
money.
game.
That's why they pull
Well,
support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they pretty much gave everything away,
Yep.
which is what gamers want. So to me, it's no fucking surprise at all. This
Right.
is what gamers want. They want everything for free.
Yeah, the Angry
They
Joe
want
syndrome.
the
Yeah.
developers to just live off of nothing, apparently, because goodwill and all that, right? No,
Mhm.
fucking gamers they don't have
Yeah,
a
they have-
clue
they
how
have-
the world works.
They have developers.
Remember that multiplier event that happened?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I said in the video,
Yeah.
and I got some people who got outraged when I said it's a damn shame and it's despicable that people gave original Evolve so much shit. They do everything right, and people still give it shit. Like, what's wrong
Yep.
with you?
Well,
you
Tron-
complained about microtransactions. They make
Entitlement.
everything free, and you still.
But
I got
once
Entitlement, my friend.
Well, once a game starts off bad PR, you know what I mean, and
It's hard to get back. That's true.
You're buried. It would be like No Man's Sky now revising their game and coming out. It's too
Honestly,
late.
That's a lot worse.
Oh, I know it's a
don't
lot
think-
worse, but I'm using that as an analogy, Janzer. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Evolve started off behind the 8 ball. They were doomed.
Colonial Marines is going to start giving free DLC.
Exactly.
away.
Nobody.
Oh, God.
Yeah. At this point, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
That's exactly. No, you're exactly right. So,
Oof! Wow.
I mean, the PR for the game was terrible at the beginning. I don't give a fuck about all that shit. I liked the game the way it was when it came out. I thought it was kind of fun,
Same
but
here.
it got stale fast. I mean, the game did get stale. I wish they would have had like a whole solar system that you could explore, like go from planet
to
sheer,
planet,
yeah,
hunting
planet to planet.
monsters.
You had
That would
different
be cool.
different bounties on the monsters and stuff like that. That would have been, you know,
Yeah.
that would have been cool.
Yeah, I could absolutely see like a movie from the. They had a story
Absolutely.
mode, kind of. Remember that one mode in the original where you would go,
evacuation. Yeah.
evacuation. That I wanted to see as a movie. It absolutely had great atmosphere. It had good dialogue. It was good. I was like, man, this could be the next like Aliens, movie or something.
Yeah.
But
That
yeah,
would have been awesome.
once it gets off to a bad start, I mean, it's spitting into the wind. They can do whatever, and I think they waited too long maybe to do what they did. I know they still had hopes for the game, but the player base just wasn't there, and they brought the player base up for a few weeks to. It was on the top 10 of the Steam charts for a couple weeks, but then it's just it's not gonna last. So.
Right, but that's
As soon as everyone managed to get everything they.
Yeah, I mean, it's
What
just
else?
so. What keeps a game like League of Legends going? Then it's a free-to-play game.
I don't get it.
Ego?
And it has even less content than Evolve. It may have more characters, but it has like free maps.
Yeah.
And what else? Like
I mean,
one game mode.
Is it just that Evolve is too hard to play?
I don't know, because League of Legends seems way harder. I tried to get in that game. It comes off as simplistic, but when you get into it, like, wow, all these characters, their different abilities, and their specific rules. Like you
It's
have
the same
to...
with Evolve, though, right?
Yeah.
This character is specific to the middle lane. This character is specific to the top lane.
Right.
Why are you in the
Evolve
bottom
can be
lane?
exactly the same way when it comes to competitive because the timing of your weapon usage is extremely vital.
Oh,
you know?
yes.
Like once you start getting into that, the combination of characters and their weapons and abilities, once again, extremely vital. Knowing, the maps, knowing where to cut off things, knowing where to pair characters together or not. There's so much in it that, like, esports wise, it's sad that it's, just not going to be supported anymore. I know who 2K is handling, I think, the service for it, and they didn't mention when it's going to go down. But they said for now it's still up. So get your game time in while you can. PC players.
I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it.
Keep in mind though, this is just for Evolve Stage 2. Like when Evolve Stage 2 shuts down, original Evolve is still going to be up and running. The multiplayer for that is still working. So original
wouldn't
Evolve.
that be the same servers? Why would they
No,
not?
they're different servers. They're different servers. You see, they have dedicated servers for Evolve Stage 2. Other Evolve is the player-hosted servers.
Oh.
And the consoles will never get it. The consoles won't see the. They're not going to see the stage 2.
Of course not.
Right.
I would just like to remind everyone, in case there's a confusion, Evolve Stage 2 is what's ending. After Evolve Stage 2 is done and over with, you'll be at least on PC. On PC, you can still get Evolve Stage 2 free. Original or Legacy Evolve. They call Original Evolve Legacy Evolve. Legacy Evolve will become purchasable again after they shut down Stage 2.
But they're still never going to make any more content for either. They're not going to make any more. There's no more Evolve content. Didn't you say that? Didn't you predict an Evolve 2 sequel game in one of your videos, Gamertron? I believe you did.
I remember Turtle Rock stating they planned on making multiple sequels.
I thought that was one of the Gamertron predictions or something. I didn't know. But you heard that from Turtle Rock.
Yeah. That their plan for the series was to make multiple sequels. That was their plan. Maybe, who knows? Maybe sometime down the line, Turtle Rock will make a sequel to Evolve, and they'll learn. And with what they learned from original Evolve and Stage 2, they'll make the perfect game. Who knows?
I wish they would have went all in at the beginning and, like I said, made a broader game with like the universe of Evolve. You know what I mean? Just don't tease us with a planet. Give us a solar system. And
having bounties to go take down monsters,
and stuff like that.
Kind of stuff.
Different game modes and.
Well, I think this is one of the downsides of multiplayer, like primary. If not only, then multiplayer primary. Because Evolve Stage 2 still had a versus AI mode, and I don't see why you wouldn't be able to play that.
Oh yeah, Yeah. True.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. See, I didn't know about the Evolve Stage 2. I thought they were just shutting. I thought everything was going to be done.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
Yeah.
think you mean the original Evolve.
Yeah.
Like I agree too. I didn't realize that was going to stay.
Yeah,
I didn't
that-
realize that was a peer-to-peer kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
they're basically two different games. They're not the same game. The thing with Evolve Stage 2 on PC, however, is that kind of overrided original Evolve and replaced it, but you can
Right.
still switch back to it in your Steam properties. In your Steam properties, there's an option
Right.
that says
Yeah.
Stage 2
Betas.
Beta and Legacy Evolve original product. So they basically gave you, that's the other thing that was so great about Stage 2, they basically gave you a whole new game for completely free, supported for months for completely free, added a bunch of new content for completely free, and like it was such a good deal.
Well,
it was
they did
such
what
a good deal.
gamers
Stage 2.
wanted is they gave everything away for free, and the end result is they're fucking having to move on.
Yep.
Mhm.
I call it the Angry Joe syndrome.
Hmm.
He wants everything.
How so?
Well, he
Wants everything for free.
He wants everything. He wants to pay the one price and that's it, and never.
Well,
You know.
but that's what what's that guy's name? The big fat dude that does stuff with the jacket and glasses and a
The
hat.
Boglins.
and Konami. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Jim
Yeah.
Sterling.
Jim
He says
Sterling.
the same thing.
Yeah.
He wants pay once, but the thing is, they gave it away, so you don't even pay for the game. You
Right.
know?
Mhm.
So it's a little bit different.
The
guess if-
Boglins.
There, the Boglin man. There you
I
go.
always think about.
Boglin.
I always
I like
think
Jim
about
Sterling. I do. I
Boglins.
give him shit, but yeah, whatever. He's
Yeah, I like the
clearly
guy.
got
He's
a
funny.
good business
Hey,
model.
we all
He's a
like
smart
each
guy.
other. We still give each other shit. We can all like you can like
I don't like you guys. What are
I was
talking
gonna
about?
say. I
Are
don't.
you
I just
sure
have to
you
work
think
with you
I
guys.
like you?
I'm all out of love. I'm
Volt
so
is okay.
lost without.
No,
Waltz
if
is
we're gonna
fine.
sing, we're gonna sing the Breakfast Club theme. We're gonna sing "Simple Minds,"
Oh yeah.
the chorus.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
my,
us.
okay.
That's us for sure.
So let's close that out. Evolve Stage 2 dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rip in
It's a
pieces.
shame.
Yeah, it's a shame.
You get what
Rip-
you want, gamers.
Ripping-
You got it for free.
Way to go,
Fuck
guys.
off.
Yeah,
Rip, 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 rip.
You win.
way to go,
That
Angry
remi-
Joe.
that reminds me, like just out of like, I hope I'm saying the right word here. Commemoration, commemoration, like in commemoration for Evolve. We should all get together and just play the game while the servers are still up. Just to spend a few hours.
I'm not
tried
that.
to
I'm
do
not that
the Division.
sentimental.
I mean,
Okay.
I could play.
Oh yes, the Division. Fucking update 1.4. Oh man, I'll let you start, Janser.
We didn't talk about this last time?
No,
We didn't talk
it
about
wasn't
1.4.
out.
It just hit.
Yeah.
It just hit 1.4.
My weeks have turned into months.
Your weeks are like a blur,
I'm doing so
Janser.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so much I have to do now. Oh my god. Division
lots of
1.4.
Triggered.
Yeah, there's so much. That's right. I streamed and people were asking me, so what's different? I was like, so much stuff. I don't even want to try to go over it here. The main thing is that loot. They might as well just have called it the Division 1 point loot. Because there's
Yes.
so much more loot now, but it's good. It's in a good way that they are dropping. So
Better
enemies
than
are
Warframe?
dropping. Enemies are dropping loot that's more on the level that you're on. Not only that,
I
but
love the tier system. I like that.
yeah. Not only that, but like the random people that enemies that you might meet on the street, they could also drop things like a gear set piece, which is
Yes.
fucking amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing.
So it gives you a purpose to not just fast travel all the time, and it gives you a reason to kill these people. There's another reason to kill like the enemies on the streets. You get your XP that used to go nowhere now goes to unlocking resource caches. So it could be like I forget what technical or combat cache, and they're basically boxes that you unlock them. There's no microtransactions involved there. It's not Payday 2. And then you basically get items out of there. They could be golds. They could be a green, which is basically the gear set item. But you also get Phoenix credits. I got 30 last
Oh
night
yeah,
out of
I got
one.
a shit ton of.
Nice.
I got it. You can get up to like 5 to 15. I think Phoenix credits per box.
I got 30. I got 30 out of one though. It's on the stream.
Wait.
Yeah.
How'd you get 30 out of one?
I don't know.
Did you have a
But
boost
it's on the
going on or
stream.
something?
No.
Nah, I
There's no
think you're
microtransactions.
lying to us.
It was on
Ah,
stream.
no.
Credits.
Yeah, well, I'll put it
That's
on.
I've
Yeah.
gotten 25 out of one of these supply
See
caches.
now you guys are just
No.
you're piling on the horse shit here.
No,
It
no,
says
man.
range 5 to 15.
That
I
depends
think
on
some
the
of 'em
supply
give
crate.
you
There are some that are
more.
higher value and
Yeah.
can give you like multiple
Oh.
gear set pieces. I
Okay.
got
Yeah.
one supply cache that gave me 2 gear set pieces.
You asshole. Seriously? 30?
Well-
Yeah, I mean, I've opened a shit ton of those.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was loving the Phoenix credits.
You're right though, Count. You can get a lot less.
Yeah.
I think on average, I normally get like 11, 10 to 11.
Yeah,
on average.
I get maybe, yeah, I was averaging maybe 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, my average is there because
I got
see some
15 in
lower.
one, but I've never seen one
Mm.
more than 15. But
Well, yeah, when I saw 30, I was like, the fuck?
yeah, I've earned like 250 Phoenix credits from all the boxes I've opened this week. So yeah, it's crazy.
Wow, if I had not been drinking
Yeah.
coffee right there, I would have been like,
Seriously, I went from 500 Phoenix credits to like 700 some odd, like 740, just opening those boxes.
Well, speaking of
Nice.
getting Phoenix credits, there's another way that getting Phoenix credits is a lot easier as well, which is your search and destroy missions.
Yeah.
First off, how those function now, which by the way, they upped the number to like 65 or something like that.
Oh,
Whereas
shit.
before, it was just a very small set of them.
They added a
enemies
lot.
that-
Yeah, they added
Oh, yeah.
more.
It's
Yeah.
a ridiculous amount
Yeah.
more. So those are now repeatable. If you fail, you no longer have to like skip it and go to the next one. If you fail, you just go back to home base and you re-queue it back up,
Right.
basically.
Mhm.
But those give you well, I'm thinking of HVTs. I'm sorry, those were HVTs. I'm
High
thinking of.
value
Yes,
targets.
high
But
value
Yeah.
target.
yeah. Search and destroy is where you go out, you do like 3 things in a row, I think,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
you get a little bit of intel. Before it was only like 2 points, maybe 3 points. Now it's 5 pretty much every time. But you can also get intel on the ground.
That's kind
you
of
can
the
pick up.
precursor to the high
Right.
value target. Use what
Yes.
you earn off of that to
Mhm.
go to
Yeah,
do
the
high
intel
value.
unlocks
Intel?
your
Yeah.
HVTs, and the intel, because it's 5 now, and you might get 1 or 2 extra, from enemies. You're gaining at such a faster rate. So you actually like. I remember I started in a stream, and in an hour, I went from like 26 to 95,
Yeah.
something like that. So if you grind them, you can grind a lot of intel. And then you can go and unlock your HVTs. The HVTs are the ones that if you fail, you can redo them. So it's no longer you fail and you're screwed. It does move the target most times. One time it didn't. Not a big deal. But what that does is it helps in case you're locked in let's say you go to an area and it's just a bad entryway. You don't have good cover, blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of nice that they randomize where the HVT moves, and that might have been
Yeah, that's
not an intentional thing,
right.
but it works out well. So, and those are pretty soloable. I've soloed everything.
Yep.
I except for the top tier ones. I don't think I've done that yet. I was doing the mediums and
Yeah, some of them are
easies.
real tough. The heart, yeah. Some of them, yeah, you need a
Yeah.
good group.
Absolutely.
doubt.
And the enemies themselves are no longer as bullet spongy, which is great.
Right.
I mean, they really start. It's no longer. Before it was like even the 32 non-armored guys were pretty bullet spongy. Now those guys will pretty much go down. They still pack a punch.
Oh yeah,
But they will go down much quicker.
they
so-
seem to
and-
even maybe hit a little harder than they did. I mean, maybe that's my imagination. I don't know, but it seems like they're doing a little bit more damage. But yeah,
That
they
could
go
be
down a
because
little.
you're on world tier 4,
That's
which is
true.
what you were bringing up
Level
earlier.
33 enemy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Oh yeah,
that's
the
true.
new world tiers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you wanna
now
talk
they've
about that?
added it. So yeah. So now what what the division has done, like once you like hit level 30, you now have the option to basically change the difficulty of everything.
Yep.
Changing world tiers not only changes the level of difficulty of enemies in the open world, but it changed the level of difficulty in the story missions, in the incursions, in the search and destroy and HVT missions. Basically, you get to choose between easy, normal, hard, and super hard, which is what we've been playing on World Tier 4. But the harder the difficulty, the higher the World Tier, the more guaranteed higher
Yeah,
higher
you get
level
229 guaranteed 229 drops
So-
for bosses in the
Right.
world tier 4 world. The
Well, it's not
underground
just
tier 4 is a
bosses.
lot harder.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, a
unlocks
lot
in
of stuff.
29.
You're gonna get
Hard
the majority
missions.
of your gear is going to be 229 in the
You can-
tier
you can
4.
reduce the. You can
I
reduce
got
the
max
difficulty
gear
of the
level, and like I
incursions.
said, I played 3 or 4 hours, and I was 229. I was
Oh
good.
jeez, you're 220. Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus
I played like 3 or 4 hours, Tron.
Yeah,
and
you
bam. Yeah.
really, yeah. But I think that you hit that a lot quicker also because you were playing Underground, which there are changes to
Yes.
that as well.
Well, I was
But really quickly-
218. I was 218 pre update,
Right.
and then
So you only
I
had 11
logged on.
levels to
I
go.
was 196, and I
Yeah,
got
they
into a
lowered the gear score of some items with 1.4.
and
But
I
you were-
to make up for that, they've added new items that are even higher level.
Mm.
well, I pugged a mission, and I must have gotten to 199 and didn't realize it when I equipped it because
Yeah.
I pugged a mission, and then I went tier 4.
See,
I
that's
went into-
something that you don't mind is getting into a group where people are higher level and then they're kind of pulling you through. I fucking hate it.
Oh, I love
I
it. I mean,
hate
yeah.
getting pulled through a mission.
oh, I love
I like
it.
being able to be useful. You know, I don't.
But
I
now,
know-
but the guys that I pugged were not any higher than me at the time
Right.
because
Now
their
you're the
gear
big
scores got
boss.
nerfed as well. There was a guy that was like 202.
Right.
But I go in the underground hub and everyone used to be 255 and now everyone was like 216, 218 and everybody's like, what the fuck?
well,
So,
the
but-
underground has levels to it, right? 40, but I believe they
Yes.
unlocked it to where it's unlimited now. I could be wrong.
No,
Yeah.
you're
I'm
pretty
right,
sure
you're
that's
right.
part of it.
they've
you're
added
right.
levels. Yeah.
Mhm.
But now your experience actually matters after level 30 because you can get the field caches
Yes.
Yeah.
that you can open. So the field performance or whatever they call it. So when you get 400,000 experience, you get a new box,
Right.
Mhm.
which will give you gear and and all that good stuff. So
Basically, what they've done to the Division is they've made it so that you like every second you're playing the game, you're earning something. They're
Right.
constantly being rewarded for just playing the game. Before,
Correct.
you had to earn all your rewards, and it was satisfying to earn your rewards in the Division. It truly was. But the way they've made the Division now, new players getting in, like they've given something for people to like who like they don't like grinding. For people who
Mhm.
don't like grinding, you're going to get good gear no matter what if you just play the game, so you can enjoy the game at your own pace and you'll still get good gear that will help you help you continue and play higher level content.
but what more importantly, what they've done is they've expanded the future of the game, and a lot of MMOs go
Yes.
through this. Like
Mhm.
MMOs go
Yeah.
through a thing called first year bloat, where they have ridiculous high gear available after the first year of the game, and then they have to make they have to nerf everything globally. So I'm glad that, and some MMOs don't like make that change until like after maybe year 2. And then it's more of a shock to the people that are invested that much time in the game. I like the fact that the Division they've lowered the ceiling of the gear. Like the old Underground gear was 260. The gear score was 260 for level 40 that you could buy the blueprints for. But now everything's 229. They've lowered the level. They're lowering the ceiling so they can expand it later on down the road, for the game.
Yep.
It's good for the overall future of the game.
Yeah, because you're going to absolutely hit the wall again.
Yeah.
And that's kind of actually one of the things that I was, as much gear as I was gaining and so as quickly as I was gaining it, I was like, well, look, Count's even 229 already. So now what for him?
Underground levels. I can.
But what if you don't have the DLC?
There you go.
You
Well,
see?
see, what's
So
going to
that's why I was
happen
like,
is the new
gear- gaining
content,
the gear
though.
feels nice, but we're gaining at such a quick rate that 229 is just right around the corner for
Yeah,
me.
but the good thing about it is the new stuff coming is going to raise that gear score, and everybody's going to have a. See, what they did was they put the gear score too high too soon.
Yep.
So the next DLC comes out. What are they going to do? Raise the cap from 260 to 300 when there's still people that aren't even 200 yet. You know what I mean? So
Right, but that's
they
if you get DLC.
yeah, exactly. So
Well, even before, like the DLC comes with like some free extra stuff all the time. Like
Yeah.
Still,
even
once
with
again,
even with
that's
the
if you
underground, some
buy
free stuff.
into it. Once again,
Mhm.
But
See, what
that's
this
kind
did
of the
for
point of
players
the
like me,
MMO. The MMOs, you kind of expect your player base to keep
buying the DLC.
progressing. Yeah, you just don't stop at a certain point.
Well, the nice thing is that they made it to where people with just the core game like myself had something else to do.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Because I was already hitting a wall where his count was pushing further because he had the underground and it was just easier to get higher level gear there.
Yeah, you're going to be able to max out without the underground. No problem.
Oh yeah, no, I will now.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Now you will be able to.
And also keep in mind, just as a reminder, everybody, incursions will also be free, and there's more incursions
there
to
you
come in the
go.
future.
Yep.
Yeah,
We have
Volts was
another
trying
incursion
to.
coming soon.
Yeah, Volts was trying to ask something that I haven't tested out. I don't know that if y'all have, but are the incursions on World Tier 1? I think there was one.
Yeah.
Are they easier?
They're doable. They're still tough, but they're doable.
Oh, they are
Mhm.
easier.
They
Exactly.
I had a go ahead, Volts.
The difficulty you guys were playing when you were doing your incursion, the first one, I believe, against that
Yes.
Yeah,
ATV shooting grenades, whatever
Falcons
the fuck.
lost. Yeah.
Hmm.
That was the easiest difficulty.
That was
or-
the-
That was on hard difficulty.
The fuck were you doing?
Incursions.
Suicidal.
Incursions don't have normal that like other like story missions have normal, hard, challenging, and heroic. With
Okay.
incursions, you start on hard, but then you have the option to go challenging and heroic.
yeah.
So
Oh,
you can't.
so no matter what.
Yeah, you can't hit an incursion until you have a certain gear score. Like incursions are the most challenging content in the game, but they're also some of the most rewarding.
But what didn't make any sense, and I said this while we were doing the incursion, that gear recommendation is way too low for that freaking mission. I mean,
Oh yes.
Now I don't know what the difference is because I haven't tried an incursion after 1.4, but I think now maybe they're trying to get those recommendations in line a little bit. That's why they lowered the overall gear score. Because 180, they wanted you to have 185 for the hard mode of the Falcon. I think it was 185 for the, or that was the recommended 165. That's
Yes.
way too low for that fucking mission. You're going to get blasted in there at
Yeah,
any
we were
difficulty.
Blasted. How
Oh,
many
yeah.
times did we retry
Yeah,
that?
that's ridiculous.
Well,
so
yeah, I mean, to be
Blasted
fair,
by
we also
grenades.
weren't really playing as a
great
team
thing.
either. But still, it's true. We were,
yeah.
like, I know I wasn't exactly high level for sure. Like, I had room that I needed to gain. I think 2 of y'all maybe, or maybe even 3, but I was not ready for that for sure.
None of us were ready for that, Chancellor. Gear score wise.
My gear score was no. I think 2 of you all. I think you and at least you and Gamertron were probably ready.
Mhm.
I think
It's
so. I'm looking up something. here
but
where-
they've kind of made gear score mean less now with this lowering. You know what I mean? So because everyone is like you said, Janzer, everyone is going to be able to hit 229 no problem. Even soloing stuff, and that's beautiful. I mean, it's going to take some
because
people.
They just give it to you. I think that's almost a mistake that when you hit tier 4, they just give you 229. There should be some in between because I'm just immediately hitting hitting the ceiling again.
Yeah, but you got to
think it's a
remember this
mistake.
this MMO is in early stages, and see, DC Universe went through all of this. They made everyone way too high. Like you could get
they're
260
making
gear.
a mistake, is what I'm saying. Like, I think they're acquiescing once again to the gamers by giving them a lot of stuff, but it's too much.
But
because
it's
they
giving
don't
them
understand.
it's giving them more of a buffer to raise that gear score and difficulty for
They
future
could have raised
DLC.
it to 400. It doesn't have to be 260. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, it was
can rate,
260 before
right.
1.4.
They could
Well,
say it's. They could
Janzer,
also
to be
just
fair,
raise it
even
to
if you're
400.
getting this high level gear, it's not necessarily the high level gear you want or the high level gear you need to kind of build the
You still have
character
to
you wanna
farm
build.
the
That's
set
correct.
pieces.
That's
Yeah.
correct. And that's getting up to the next problem that I have with it is now that I have all these set pieces, which is what I use exclusively, there's no profiles.
Oh, you.
So
Oh,
I have to
yeah.
change out all my gear, which is quite annoying.
Well, you can do favorites though.
What?
They have a favorite mode.
Oh, yeah, but favorites don't fucking matter, dude. That just means you don't break it down.
You don't break it down accident. Okay.
Right, yeah,
Oh,
or
you're
sell
talking
it
about like an
accidentally.
armory where you can
I'm talking
have an
about like
imprint.
original Diablo.
Yeah, you can have a gear. You can have a gear imprint. Yeah.
or maybe Diablo 2, not the original.
I
Diablo,
have a
but
feeling
Diablo
that's
2.
coming soon
Yeah,
for the game.
because
So.
you need profiles for this
Yeah.
because you want a sniper setup, you want a
Exactly.
close range setup, you want
Melee,
a support
yeah.
setup.
Yep.
Yeah, you
Hybrid,
want all these
healing,
absolutely.
all that stuff. Yeah, for the different. That's
Now,
coming. That's
In chat, they
Yeah.
said loadouts, and I did not use that word because I don't want people to negatively associate it with something like Call of Duty. It doesn't have to. Besides, there were
Oh.
profiles before. You know?
I call it more of a gear imprint.
And I've never heard that before, and that's
Yeah.
cool too.
Yeah.
As long as it's something that allows you to switch between
Yeah.
your gear types or even roles, like a true MMO allows you to switch between roles,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So in chat also, I noticed somebody said that the DLC right now, the season pass is on sale, 40% off for $23.99. I'm going to
Nice.
fucking buy that now.
Yes.
I'm absolutely going to buy that now.
Definitely.
That is absolutely worth it to me
Yep.
because only one of the DLCs has come out so far. We've got 2 more to go.
Yeah, you're
Fuck yes.
you're
Wait,
definitely going to get your money.
Is it really on sale? I'm on the Steam
On
store
Uplay,
page right.
Uplay,
oh, on
Uplay.
Uplay.
See, I'm
Now,
mad
it's
about
weird
that
because-
because I bought it just 2 weeks ago. I should have waited.
So how does that work with me? Because I got it through Steam. Does it just say I don't give a fuck?
It shouldn't matter.
Oh, it should
All
give
right.
you. I think it should give you a code in Steam.
Yeah.
I think maybe it should. I don't know.
But I'm not going to buy it on Steam. I got to buy it through Uplay.
He's buying it
Okay.
through Uplay.
well,
I'll
we'll
figure
see
it
what
out. I'll
happens.
figure it
I don't think it'll matter, Janzer.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're
Mhm.
right.
but that's nice.
But that's
Yeah.
exciting news. $24 for 3 pieces of DLC.
Mhm.
Fuck yeah! Are you kidding me?
And I don't know how much Tron's played of the Underground on Tier 4, but it's tough.
Oh, I've played the Underground Tier 4. It is tough. It certainly is tough.
Yeah.
Like teamwork is required. Usually, I like to build a tanky character and get in the enemy's face.
Yeah.
That's how I've built my character to soak up a lot of damage and deal a lot of damage. But with these higher difficulties, you have to stay near the team. You have
Yes.
to boost each other.
Yes.
You have to be
That's
more
good.
coordinated.
Yep.
That's good because I really get annoyed with like when people go rogue solo Rambo style and it's like we're not playing as a team anymore. We're not playing as a team. Now it's just one dude dragging everybody through. That's not fucking fun.
Well,
Not
it's
to me, at
support
least.
for it's more that you're going to have to use this more of a support classes. It's gonna make sure that like you coordinate your team, not just tactics, but with gear sets as well. Like you want one guy set up for more of a support class and
Yeah,
stuff like
if
that.
it becomes more nuanced
Yep.
where you're forced to use tactics again. See, anytime you start, as they said in chat, face tanking, that's when the game's broken.
Yep.
Because you don't fucking it doesn't matter. Whatever you don't have to have tactics anymore, because you're face tanking.
the
If you had
pug-
to have tactics, you wouldn't be doing that.
But the
you
pug
know?
groups I've been playing with on the PC have been like everyone's been healing each other. I mean, it's been
have to
fun.
now.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah,
There's,
exactly.
I've
so
noticed it too, like in stuff
Yeah.
that I was playing before solo. I'm actually using cover a lot more
Yes.
because these guys, I can kill them, and that urge to just murder them is there, and I want to run out there, but they still hit really
Yeah.
hard.
yeah, especially like the last stage of like one of the underground missions where you have to you're there with the final boss and they just spring him on you and you can't make a mistake on the tier 4. You make a mistake and you're gonna reset if you're trying to do it solo. I haven't
Guys,
done it with a group yet.
This is
but-
what I know. Buying the DLC for $24, I'm gonna have to fucking my profession is gonna have to be a streamer because I don't know what I'm gonna go to. I'm
You know,
just
hey,
gonna be
that's
playing
not a
so
bad
much of this
idea.
game.
That's not a bad
Oh
idea.
my
You
God.
already have a following on Twitch. You could get something started, Janzer.
I
and-
have like 2 dudes that show up on Twitch. What are you fucking talking about?
Just do a
following?
Biblical Reaper
Hello.
video where you're crying and
Oh,
looks-
will you let that?
no.
Are you?
We
do
had
you
to
have
get
a
the name
crush
in
on
there.
him? Do you have a man crush on?
No,
Biblical
I-
He's
Reaper?
trying to get some residuals out, and I like that idea. So
Yeah.
I'm all
Janzer's-
for it.
I'm going through a rough time right now. I just
I'm gonna hold
spent
up-
I
I'm
just
gonna
spent
hold up my
$500 on Call of Duty supply drops that I make
I'm gonna hold
stupid
up
ass
my
You're having
videos.
dog
such a
and-
rough
And then the
time.
guy has the utter gall to. Here's his big epic videos. Now he calls up GameStop on his cell phone while he's recording, and
They're
he
still around?
he
I thought they
pranked
closed down.
no, and he prank calls GameStop saying, "I have an early copy of Infinite Warfare. How much will you give me for it as a trade-in?" And then he's like laughing into the camera, and it's not funny at all. It's fucking cringy. It's like, dude, you don't work. Quit bugging people while they're working. Quit pranking GameStop.
wait, he doesn't
You're a
work.
grown man making
Where does his
videos.
income come from?
His YouTube channel.
And then he's
Why
working.
do we care?
If he's making
That
money,
ain't-
he's working.
cares?
I care.
Why do you care? He doesn't affect you.
Yeah, because he's got little
nobody.
kids. He's
Sounds
got little
jealous.
kids.
That's what it comes down to.
I mean, why do you care that ISIS is on Twitter? That doesn't
I
affect
want-
you. I mean, it's the same thing.
I want the biblical
little
Reaper
kid-
channel as
isn't
well.
killing people.
Little kids is sending him their allowance and shit. He's had kids send him like $5
well,
and shit.
that's their
Fucking
choice. They're
bum.
little morons.
Yeah,
That's
I know,
true.
Of course,
I agree with Gamertron. They're morons.
They are
Alright,
morons.
Aren't kids naturally morons?
Yes, of course, because they're not fully grown human beings yet. So that's true.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is why you
basically
don't
so.
give them your credit card.
No, they steal it though because they're little fuckfaces. That's why they do whatever they want.
Not all kids. Not all kids.
It's true, not all of them, but just those ones. The ones that would go to streams and then tip them like $1,000 on their parents' credit card and then have that reverted, and then the streamer has to pay that money back and fees.
I heard shit about that. That's crazy.
Oh, it's horrible. Can we
Oh.
move on from the Division
Yes.
or anything
Moving on.
else?
Yeah.
Sure.
Move on from the Division. Can I talk about Titanfall 2?
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
We're not talking about Titanfall 2 this week.
Wow.
What?
You mean
Fuck
Call
that.
of Duty? You mean
Anyways,
Call of Duty 6?
Let me get the. Let me grab the Kleenex and bring it to John so I can.
No, shit. No, stop it. Oh,
Call
God.
of Duty 6 or 4?
What would it be?
5?
You mean that Call of Duty clone with robots? Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's do that.
Infinite
No, I'm
mech,
not going to talk
warfare?
about it now. I'm not going to talk about it
I'm
now.
just kidding. Oh, now
I
look
think
at
John
you.
was
Oh,
so
I'm
bloated.
kidding.
He's gonna take his ball and go
Oh,
home.
Jesus
Aw.
Christ.
Take your
I'm
balls
kidding.
and go home.
He's gonna take his Titan and go home.
Aw. Anyways,
Let's
Titanfall
talk
2.
about it.
Yeah.
Holy shit! God,
I could have
damn.
predicted that.
Ugh.
It's better than it's way better than what I was expecting. It is it's such a polished game. The campaign. I'm going to talk about the campaign for just a minute here.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything, even though I know people have been looking up online and spoiling it for themselves, and I can kind of understand it. Like, you want to get a gist of it. See, like, this is Respawn Entertainment. This is their first campaign after years. So
You mean that tutorial disguised as a campaign?
Ooh, wow.
Not in the slightest.
Shit.
Not in the slightest. It's remarkable how much effort and creativity was put into the campaign. The thing about the campaign is every single mission in the campaign does something unique that could almost be its own game in its own. There's so many memorable, jaw-dropping moments in the campaign that I just... It's awe-inspiring. It's remarkable how much Respawn has turned the first-person shooter on its head with the mechanics, these unique gameplay mechanics. I don't know how far you've gone into
You mean all the jumping platforms, and then you get two options to respond with lame dialogue. You either
the dialogue's not lame.
the dialogue's
Stop
lame,
trolling,
dude.
Counts.
I'm
No,
not
it's
trolling.
Not.
The
Have
dialogue's.
You beat the game? It's not lame. It's clever.
Yeah,
it's clever in many ways.
I don't see
It's
how
well
clever
written.
it is.
It
I could
is
do
clever.
without the dialogue choice. Like, BT is like calling you, "Oh, where are you? I'm over here at the end of the fabrication flow," and you're like, "I'm coming, old buddy." Or then or you can say, "I'm busy right now, BT." I mean, that's the two choices, or something like that. You know,
Those two
they could
choices,
do
yeah.
without that. That was kind of lame.
No, that's a nice option. It allows for
Nah.
some
Unique character development, and it also somewhat affects the narrative because depending on how you respond to BT, his personality adjusts throughout the campaign.
Do you
So
want to
depending
be?
Yeah, he gets more
Do you want to
sarcastic,
be
and
a good guy, or do you want to be a complete asshole?
nah, it never
that's
really
okay.
lets you go like that. But
No, but just the option in a action-packed first-person shooter, you don't expect it from that. So the fact that they added that mechanic that they didn't need to add at all, the fact that they put the extra effort in, that's remarkable.
I
On
think
top
they
of
could have
that-
done without that.
On top of that, though, what I was getting to earlier, now I don't want to spoil this because this is a campaign. This is a first-person shooter campaign that it's a must-play. Quite frankly, it's so much fun. It's so creative. It's so memorable that you just need to play it for yourself. You need to experience it for yourself. There's a couple missions where the game throws at you new gameplay mechanics and settings and situations that just they blew my mind, quite frankly. I understand completely now why they've been so secretive of the campaign. Like, they didn't want any information about it getting out until launch, because there's some stuff in there that's just, again, I want to say more, and I will say more in a video later on.
What,
but just for now,
platform
I'll
jumping?
say no, Count. Later, well, the platforming itself is fantastic. Now, Titanfall.
You're all over the place. What are you talking about? You're
let me
excited,
run
I
down
can't
the
even tell what
campaign
you're
for you.
saying.
Well, if you just pay attention, because
I'm
I
trying
don't.
to, but you're like platforming and this. Okay,
Count
go ahead.
brought up the platforming, not
Go
me.
ahead.
I was
I'm
talking
sorry.
about the diversity of each mission and the unique gameplay mechanics and situations in each. Like, it makes the campaign so much more memorable and completely obliterates the notion of repetition, because throughout the campaign you're never really doing the same thing over and over again. The game
You're not
constantly...
just shooting dudes and murdering things?
Oh, there's lots of shooting and there's lots of murdering. But
Wait,
there's
the
also...
shooting?
Yeah, you basically you get in your Titan, and then something happens. Something happens where your Titan gets kidnapped and separates from you, and you have to go find your Titan again, and then you get back in the Titan, and then you kill more shit, and then you have to like go through a jumping puzzle. It's basically a tutorial. They add like more difficulty of wall running as it goes on and everything like that. I don't see what's so like groundbreaking about it.
It's the mechanics count. The mechanics, then the way the mechanics from the way the campaign evolves, the way it evolves from level to level, the situations it puts you in, the set pieces, the action-packed arenas.
Yeah, the corrosive. I like the fact that each Titan is a boss battle. You know, that
Yes.
Ash, which I had a hell of a time. Janzer can attest because he was watching me stream.
Is that
I had
the
a
one
hell.
with the sword?
Yeah, the Ronin. First
she
you
was
fight.
kicking your ass.
Yeah, and because I didn't like the unlevel terrain that you had to fight Ash on. The first boss didn't really give me too much problem. He wiped me once, and then I got my laser core and blew him away. But the Ash took me like 35. I think it was like a 38-minute fight. For some reason, I just couldn't get away from that bastard.
Yeah, and that's a weird one because that's a robot inside of a robot.
Yeah, that was kind of.
Yeah.
That's
But
really cool.
Why
though.
would
That's
she?
No,
why
it was
wouldn't
cool,
she just
but-
transfer her being into the big robot? You know?
Yeah. But I mean,
Well,
Maybe
the
she's a cyborg. Maybe she's a brain in a robot suit going into a mech suit.
That could be true. Yeah, I'm just messing around, anyways. Okay.
But
But
I mean,
that brings up the another thing I wanted to bring up, and that's the characters. I was not expecting the story of the game to have such an emphasis on characters. You meet several unique characters, memorable villains like Kain and Ash and Blisk, of course, and the way Cooper and BT, their relationship, it's very entertaining. Now, I will say that it could have been done a bit better, been given a bit more time to develop, because it feels like they grow attached to one another, like one mission too quickly, like they could have had some more bonding. But besides that, the dialogue the two have, the relationship they share, and BT is just adorable. He's the fact that he's kind of ignorant to human sayings and he's ignorant to certain emotions, but the way he goes with the flow, like, I don't entirely understand this, but I'm going to go with it. And oh man, I want to say more, but I'll say more in an upcoming video when it comes to the story and the campaign. So I'll leave the campaign there. It's a lot of fun. It's extremely
I mean, he's
creative.
the
It's better than I could have hoped for.
he's the stereotypical robot that takes everything literally. I mean, basically, when your guy talks to him, like he'll like take what he says literally, and it comes off as kind of humorous, but.
I mean, nothing's original, count. Everything's been done before, but the way they do it, like it's still quality. It's still quality.
I mean,
I was watching Count play a lot of the single player, and then I watched you Gamertron play a little bit of one of the levels he played, and I think the single player story was pretty good. Like,
yeah,
I don't
it's
know about
not
story, but
bad.
the experience was pretty good, and I think that they should have done this, but they didn't have the time from what I remember them saying. So it's good that they didn't do it initially, but they did a pretty decent job. But it's not like I was watching Count playing, and it wasn't groundbreaking to me either. You know,
it's like they put you in a mission
a
where
competent
you watch your little ghost, and you got a double wall jump, you got a single wall jump here, wall run.
It made me want to play it,
and then the next time you got to do a double, and then the next time you got a triple wall jump.
Yeah. See, I like that stuff, Count. You didn't like it, though. I was listening to, and you were like, God damn this shit. And I was like...
I was playing that up. I didn't mind it. I was just kind of playing that up. You
and Jim Sterling play very similar. I was watching him play it earlier today, too. and like a video that he did. And
I like to bitch about it while I go on. Yeah, while
so, so yeah,
yeah,
so
like
see,
it didn't help that I had worked all day or worked all night and I hadn't been to sleep in freaking 24 hours. But yeah,
my point is the fact that the game allows people of a variety of levels to play it.
Yeah.
Because you play it with a controller, play with keyboard, mouse. You can play it at a more standard kind of like Call of Duty-esque type of, playing, or a Battlefield, whatever, just on the ground, whatever, doing occasional jumping, using some of the mechanics. And but at the same time, if you're all into the super movement mechanics, then you play it that way, and it's kind of a different game.
Yes.
It really is. And I think that that's really what sets it apart is actually the movement. Yes, you do have Big Titan. That is true. That does set it apart too. But outside of that, the movement. But there are some stuff that was very similar to Call of Duty. I remember that robot skin in multiplayer. I was like, doesn't Call of Duty have a robot skin? And no, it's not the same robot skin. It just reminded me of it. That's all. I'm not saying they ripped anybody off. I'm just saying it reminded me of it. That's all.
Well, I mean, they're trying.
Multiplayer games with robots, it happens.
Yeah.
Sure, it just
they're
happens
trying to be
that
like
the
Call of
user
Duty. I mean, there's no doubt.
The multiplayer user interface of Titanfall 2 looks extremely slick console.
Oh, yes.
Like a Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I've seen the user interface for Call of Duty as well. And I was like, wow, these really, and it's not really that surprising because to me, I always thought about Titanfall as being the next version of Call of Duty if that team had stayed there, working on it. But they couldn't get that to get pushed through. And so they went off and they did their own game, their version of what they wanted a shooter to be. And then the twist is here's a mech, which is fucking amazing because you don't have any other games still with huge mechs. I mean, there's like Mech Warrior out there. There's like a multiplayer one that's been in beta forever.
Hawken.
Hawken, it never really took off for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It just didn't have it. It's kind of like Evolve. It just didn't grab whatever it was that gamers needed. Maybe it was simplicity in the sense.
How is the cosmetics or customization
For the multiplayer?
Well,
Have you tried the multiplayer count?
Yeah, I'm level 11. I got up to level 11 on.
Oh, nice. I'm level 30.
Nice. You've been playing. You've been playing a shit ton.
Oh, dude, I've been basically my past 2 days have been like Titanfall 2 launches. I played all night, go to sleep for 5 hours,
Get
wake
up
up,
and-
play Titanfall 2 again, do my live streaming Titanfall 2 again, and then go back to playing Titanfall 2 again, not live streaming for the rest of the night. And just before this podcast, I was playing more Titanfall 2.
Yeah, I was playing a little multiplayer. I played about 4 or 5 hours of multiplayer today.
Sweet.
But the cosmetics, I think didn't they crumble to the outrage, and we're not going to see the pinup girls on the nose art now?
Oh no, they didn't. They're there. The pinup girls are absolutely there.
Okay, what level do you have to be to unlock that?
Here's how the cosmetics work. As you level up and basically you start unlocking all the cosmetics once you unlock all the weapons and stuff. Once you unlock all the weapons and all the basically all the essentials, once you unlock all the essentials, then the game floods you with cosmetics.
Okay.
Once you hit level 50 and you unlock all the equipment, all the weapons. Oh, what?
That was
Hello?
That was me.
Oh.
It's trick-or-treaters. They want candy
I'm being
bowls.
called. I'm being called.
They want candy.
Oh.
So it's just
Superman has to go. All right.
Just to clarify something.
Mm-hmm.
So as you use the same weapon over and over, you'll get the cosmetics for it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once you unlock the assault rifle, continue using the assault rifle, and you'll get
More
lady
cosmetics.
paints.
But I was talking about the
Exactly.
nose art, the war paint, and the nose art for the
For
actual
Titans.
Titans.
Alright. So,
I like the
unfortunately-
nose art that I have, but I haven't seen the girls. Now, I've seen the call sign girl. I've seen the naked call sign girls, the banner.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Not naked, but, I don't want to piss off Anita Sarkeesian, that dumb
Oh,
bitch.
fuck her.
But I wouldn't mind
piss
fucking her.
someone off no matter what.
Wouldn't you
Okay,
like to
anyways-
do it? Wouldn't you like to
Alright.
slip her a Bill Cosby one night, man, and just kind of have your way
shut
with
up,
her?
The
Count.
fuck
No,
is a Bill Cosby?
anyways,
Anyway.
Volt,
Alright.
You need to go. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for dropping
Yeah,
by
go.
on the podcast and your insight on the Dark Souls free DLC, man.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Sorry for spoiling a bit of the optional area.
How dare you? I'm gonna refund my shit now.
Go
You
ahead.
have Dark Souls free.
How do you know? How do you know I haven't bought it?
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
Janzer gifted
You
it
got a
to me.
screenshot? You got
Yeah.
a
No.
screenshot? Citation needed.
All right.
I'm gonna start singing the Breakfast Club theme on you, buddy.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Bye, Volt.
All right. See ya. And something due to the.
User
What?
disconnected from your channel.
He's doing his exit.
Okay. You don't have to be polite, Volts. You can just.
He's gone, man. He's gone. We lost him.
Okay,
It's that Canadian
back on
politeness.
track.
Yes, Titanfall 2. Before I talk about the multiplayer, I want to answer something in chat just quickly, if that's okay, from Grammaton Dryad, who wants to hear about the specific unique gameplay mechanics in the single player. Here's the thing, Graham. As much as I would love to talk about them, and I will in a future video, I want people who just got the game to play it first and experience it for yourselves, because those unique gameplay mechanics are the spoilers. And I would love to give you the details, but if I give you a detail, you'll kind of unravel it and discover it for yourself. But I'll just say this: it completely each level to level of Titanfall 2. The game kind of flips itself on its head. It gives you an idea of okay, this is a first-person shooter. It's got parkour. You can get in and out of your Titan. But then they introduce, say, a piece of equipment or a weapon that changes how you engage enemies and how you interact with the environment. And I won't say more than that. Going back... Oh, wait. Actually, before we get into more of the multiplayer, Count, as you played original Titanfall... And now you play Titanfall
a little.
2, so
Not as much as you guys. Not as much as you and Jan.
I would love to know your thoughts. How does the shooting feel to you? How does the gameplay feel to you? Because I love the gameplay of Titanfall 2. That's a no-brainer. I love the game. I love the shooting. I love the smoothness and the parkour and the so many different guns. How does the gameplay feel to you?
I'm not. Remember, I'm not a first-person shooter expert or anything like that. I was never a big Call of Duty player. I played a little bit of Battlefield. I always want to say Battlefront. I played that as well, but I have a few issues with the way the pilot still feels a little sluggish to me. It feels better than it did during the technical test. I'll tell you that much. I think it's because my system is better than the PS4, my PC. I really like the way it looks on the PC compared to what it did on the PS4. But I have no problem with the visuals. The guns feel okay. I think the time to kill is a little too fast. Just a
Multiplayer or single player?
Multiplayer.
Okay.
Just a little too fast. They need to tone that down just a little bit, I think. But overall, I'm having a good time with the game. I mean, it's not my...
Cup of tea.
It's not my total. I'm still gonna play the game. I enjoy playing the game, but it feels a little. The guns don't feel quite as good. I got so used to the Division that the guns in the Division feel better to me. I know that's third person other than first person, but the guns feel a little. They don't feel bad, but I don't know.
I think, is it safe to say, Count, based on the games we've played together and the games I know you prefer, would you say you prefer more third-person games to
I do
games?
like third-person games more than I do first-person, but Titanfall 2 is not bad. I'm gonna say it is fun. The Titan's epic, getting in all the Titan's epic. So much shit going on though when all those Titans are in the middle of those. I mean, everybody calls their Titan down, and I did learn one thing. Don't do the warp speed Titanfall without the shield, because those guys are camping your Titan. And I kept going through the problem where my Titan was getting destroyed before I had a chance to get to it.
Yes, I've noticed that's happening in multiplayer.
Yes.
Players are starting to discover if you equip the warp fall ability
to your Titanfall, like you can wait for someone else to spawn their Titan, then spawn your Titan on top of their Titan, destroying it.
And then you're fucked basically. But go with the shielded Titan. The time to kill is a little bit of an issue for me. I wish they would raise the time to kill just a little bit. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. It just needs a little tweaking. But
now, I will admit this is a specific problem with me with time to kill, is that I never take time to really analyze and acknowledge time to kill in other games. I've played so many shooters, and I've played quite a few multiplayer shooters where I'm just so focused on objective. I'm just so focused on playing the objective, let's try and win, that I'm not focusing on time to kill, so I can't really speak to time to kill. I wish I could, but when I'm in a game, I'm always objective focused. Whatever multiplayer game I play, I'm always objective
all I've
focused.
played is attrition, so that's the objective. There is no objective but killing, so in attrition. So, I don't know. I like I so far, like I said, I've only played attrition. The time to kill is my big issue, but it just needs a slight tweaking, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. More of the pro first-person shooter guys might think it's perfect. I don't know, but
okay. Coming from me playing, you guys know I adore the first Titanfall and its multiplayer. It's one of the very few PvP games that I actually really enjoy. I'm very picky when it comes to PvP, and I have to say, Titanfall 2. These past few days of playing the multiplayer, just hours on end, this may be my favorite PvP of all time. As much as I enjoy the single player and love the single player, I'm in love with the multiplayer. It's so much fun. It's very addicting, and whatever few problems I had with Titanfall 1, and I absolutely adore Titanfall 1, they've made Titanfall 2 just 10 times better. Now that there's so much customization and there's so much to unlock, I have 101 reasons to keep playing. There's a bunch of cosmetics that I want to unlock. There's a bunch of cool skills and weapons that I still haven't unlocked that I really want to unlock. And with the new currency system, where every time you level up a weapon or you level up your Titan, the new merit system, every time you level up an individual piece of something, you gain credits that you can spend on unlocking stuff early. Like, you can choose to just level up and unlock stuff, or you can access it early by buying it by buying it with the credits.
I like that.
Or using the credits to buy cosmetics.
That's cool.
But that's not new. They had that in Titanfall.
Yeah.
No, you could use credits to buy burn cards and
No. Don't get that pedantically. I'm talking about it's not a new credit system. They had a credit system. And you could buy stuff.
No, it is a new credit system. You don't earn hundreds of dollars.
You
and
don't
then
earn
spend
credits.
No, you earn credits, but it's a different kind of credits.
Things.
Yes, but they're a different kind of
That's
credit.
what I'm saying. You're getting a little too pedantic about it. You still earn credits, and you still use it to buy things, to unlock things. Now, in the old one, it was burn cards or things that you could buy licenses to unlock stuff. Still the same idea. They just simplified it. Is what it sounds like. But it's still a currency system.
Yeah, it's a currency system, but unlike Titanfall 1's currency system, you couldn't buy weapons and Titans and equipment stuff. You couldn't buy that stuff with credits, and you couldn't, with the credit system, you can early access.
It's early unlock. You don't, there might be something, if you have enough merits, you won't say you're level 21 and there's something you want that's level 25. That unlocks naturally progressive at level 25. You can go ahead and burn those merits. Now, the merit earning is slow.
Count, just to let you know, on the original Titanfall, you could unlock levels, licenses, in order, if you didn't want to do all the kills that you needed to do in order to get.
Prestiging. You're talking about prestiging. They've changed prestiging in Titanfall.
So what I'm saying is that it's still the same type of concept. They've just adjusted it.
Yeah.
It's still a credit-based
system.
system.
It's not like a
You still
brand
buy
new
things,
concept
still
or
unlock
anything.
stuff.
Yeah. You can do the
That's what I'm
same thing
saying.
in Battlefront.
That's all I'm clarifying, is that it's not like a totally new concept.
No,
at all.
it's not.
It's just a little bit different on what you actually buy now. That's all. Yeah.
And
Okay, just clarifying for
there's
myself.
and there's just so much more to buy. Gents, the amount of cosmetics in this game are crazy.
Oh,
and
it's
I think Count
ridiculous.
Can attest to
Yeah.
that.
Mm.
Like people complain so much about the first Titanfall. Oh, there's just not enough customization. Well,
Right.
buddy, here you fucking go. You're going to be spending months playing this game if you unlock all the cosmetics. There's some really cool color patterns for your pilots, your Titans and your weapons. If you want to create a monstrosity like a pilot who's colored pink, has a pink gun and a pink Titan, if you want to go full pink, you can. If you want to go full blue, red, if you want to have your character looking like they just came out of Vietnam with color coordination and stuff like that, like there's so much. There's so much here. There's so much they're added, and the new gameplay mechanics they've added with some of the new weapons and pilot abilities, and of course the 6 new Titans. It makes the multiplayer so much more interesting and dynamic. And Titanfall 1 was
Cool.
already incredibly interesting and dynamic. But now that we have these different Titans with their different abilities,
Yeah,
and
the
weapons,
different Titans definitely adds a flavor to the big Titan. Because, I mean, ultimately during the mission, everyone's got... it's Titan versus Titan. You know, it's a free-for-all out there. Titan, not a free-for-all. It's team versus team and attrition. But there's so many different Titans that you have to, like... Which one is he using? Is he using the Ronin? And it tells you which one your opponent's using. But
Yes.
you have to adjust your strategy during the fight for which, like if I see a Ronin or 2 Ronins, because a lot of people are using the Ronin.
oh yeah,
I can tell
Ronin's
that's
very popular.
yeah, that's going to be the flavor of the month. You can tell, but you better get some distance. You better like change your strategy on the fly. So the one I hate fighting is that fucking Legion.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that thing's a beast. That's the one I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
wait to unlock because I played the Ronin, not real big on it, because you're so squishy.
True.
And,
I have
yeah.
to say, Ronin's kind of a more. I hate to use this word, but he's kind of a more skill-based Titan. You really have to master
Yeah.
hit and run with him.
Yeah,
You have
it
to
is
master
hit and run with
when to
Ronin.
melee.
There's no doubt because you get an extra dash naturally. Innately, you get an extra dash move with Ronin, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the warp dash that actually makes you invulnerable and invisible for a short
Yeah,
time.
that's the warp. But I meant that naturally you have an extra
Oh, yeah.
dash automatically.
That's-
Like you can unlock an extra dash for another Titan down the road, like a perk. But
Yes.
doesn't Titan come with an extra dash anyway?
Yes. Ronin does come
Right,
with an extra dash automatically.
Yeah. Did I say Ronin? Yeah, I might have missed my words there, but then you've also got the warp, the little mini warp displacement dash, which is annoying as fuck. But it's not as annoying as the little warp that the pilots can do. The higher level, I don't know.
Oh
what,
yeah,
I
just
fucking
unlocked
hate that. They should have left that out of the game.
Oh,
That's
really?
bad.
I'm loving the ability.
Well,
loving
yeah,
the
you
ability.
love playing it, but not playing against it.
Well, here's the thing. The way to counter the whole warp ability is that when you enter the warp and leave it, it like leaves a kind of like a trail
Yeah.
behind. So the other player can determine where you are. So usually what I use the warp ability for, I don't use it to be offensive. I use it to be defensive. So when I'm taking damage, I warp away
Well,
and get
yeah.
to some cover.
That they could have left that one out, in my opinion.
Well, I think it adds
Okay.
it adds a unique dynamic to the game,
Yeah.
and like it's not like the most powerful ability because if I go up against another pilot who, for instance, has the shield ability, remember, pilots with the new shield tactical ability, when they drop that down, not only are they completely protected, but when they shoot through the shield, kind of like Volt's shield from Warframe,
Yeah.
when they shoot through the shield, they gain a double damage boost.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if I go into warp. I'm invulnerable and invisible for a certain amount of time. They place the shield down. I come out of warp. They shoot me. I'm done. I'm not going to be able to counter that.
I just don't like it. I don't like the warp.
I hear you.
Okay.
I hear
What
you.
else? What else, guys? Let's stop talking about the warps. It's
Yeah.
like over and over.
Okay.
you don't
I mean,
like
we
it,
can
he
butt
likes it,
heads,
great.
with
Yeah.
the opinions, but
Another complaint people had about the first Titanfall was, oh, there's not enough weapons. Holy crap! So many weapons. There's so many weapons. Hey, Count.
yeah, there's a lot of weapons, no doubt.
Like, oh my goodness, I haven't even unlocked them all. Like, and the great thing is that they all feel very different. So far I've unlocked the car SMG and the new, the new Volt SMG,
and they both play very differently. I've noticed that their fire rate, their range, their damage, they even though they're SMGs, they still feel like completely different weapons. And the same thing goes with the shotguns. I've unlocked. There's only 2 shotguns in the game, but they're radically different from one another. One's an auto shotgun. One's basically an automatic semi-auto shotgun. The other one, like, you have to really time your shots, and they're more projectile shots.
Right.
The shotguns are so completely different weapons. You could spend hours trying to master them, and that's the thing I really like about the Titanfall 2 is that, like its predecessor, if you want to play casually and just play for fun, just blow off some steam and just kill some dudes, you can. If you want to play competitively and be the best that you can be, you've got some mastering to do, because the different mechanics and I guess gimmicks, you could call them, different mechanics and gimmicks you have to get used to and master. Like, you can become a really skilled Titanfall player and pull off some amazing stuff. Like, just on my live stream I did yesterday, I pulled off an amazing move with the grappling hook, where I hooked onto a wall, swung myself around the wall, and then meleeed a dude in the face as he was sniping. I felt so good doing that. I felt
to be
so
fair,
good.
Even original Titanfall had it to where it was the easy entry. It's kind of what I was talking about earlier, where Count can get in there and he wants to play a certain way, and maybe he doesn't want to use some of the new mechanics or whatever, but he can play, and it's perfectly fine.
Yep.
But even with like the original, I could never get up to the level of some of the bunny hoppers that were,
Oh my God.
There's just some levels that are still there that you can work with, and it all comes down to the big difference about the game is mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, at least, well, that you got a mech, of course,
Yeah.
but that's one of the biggest things. That's one of the things that can make you stand out regardless. And it's about skill.
Yes.
You have to learn it. You can't it's not like something you can purchase. So that's one of the biggest things about that.
Yeah, that's the thing with Titanfall. Like you can't purchase skill. You can't. Like, you can get all these cool abilities and stuff, but nothing. The game is so well balanced to a point where it doesn't matter what ability, what Titan you have. It's all about how you play.
Yeah,
that will determine whether
I
you
agree
win or
with you
not.
on that 100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like every Titan has its strength and drawback. That's the beautiful thing. So, yeah, there's no one Titan. I think maybe that Legion might be a little bit favored because it's got the ballistic shield.
I gotta agree with you there.
Yeah.
That is the one thing I've noticed that may need a bit of rebalancing.
The Legion needs a little bit of a nerf, just a little. I'm not saying it's like game-breaking OP, but it needs
standard.
I noticed that the people that were like I fought a couple guys like level 37, level 38, and they had the Legion, and they were wiping. Two of them together were wiping us pretty good.
That's pretty standard, though. You're always going to have a top tier piece of weaponry or whatever it is, and people always want to, nerf it. It's like the.
I'm not saying a huge nerf. Don't get me.
No,
I don't even want to
pistol.
use the word
like the
nerf.
pistol,
it needs a little slight tweaking.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
you
exactly
feel
they
that
could
count,
do.
but maybe someone else feels like it needs a big nerf. It's all
that's
about
true.
feelings. You and your feelings.
Just because
Shit about
they
your
got their
feelings.
feelings hurt that they got killed. I'm not a very good
them?
Titanfall 2
Fifis?
player.
What do you call
I'm lucky to. I'm always in the. I'm either the bottom guy or the. Like 80% of the matches I played, I'm either like I was usually like not the bottom guy. I was next to the bottom guy in points.
Yeah, that's usually me.
Because
I'm pretty much garbage now. My skill's all gone.
Those motherfuckers get to the Spectres before I can get them, and because everyone bum rushes the Spectre drop to try to get their Titan quicker. You know what I mean? And that's to get a jump on everyone. And I always seem to get there last. I don't know. So I need to I don't know the maps, and I'm not trying to learn the maps, and I need to focus on learning the maps. Learning those maps is a huge advantage in that game.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the maps quickly. Well, before we talk about like the level design count, like the maps are beautiful. I
hate the one that they had on the technical test, Boomtown or whatever. I still hate that one. But there are a couple.
Is that like Nuketown?
I love the crash site. I love the crash site.
Oh, crash sites are. That map's just gorgeous, eh? The way they've designed, like, the rocks and the waterfall, like, it's just beautiful to look at. I'm not talking level design, just the visuals.
I got to tone down my visuals, Tron, because there's too much particle effect going on that I can't see anything. So I have to turn down I'm going to turn it down to medium. Because they're on insane level right now. Like I'm running it on what's called. That's actually what they had. Insane.
Yeah,
That was
cool if that's a video game.
pre-optimized. Yeah, so there's too much going on the screen. I mean, the game looks gorgeous. I mean, the game looks gorgeous. So
And it's running on the Source engine. I know they've completely upgraded and redid it, but still, this is still technically the
They
Source
would slap
engine.
your face for saying that, Gamertron.
I know they've upgraded
And
and
I'm gonna
changed
stand
it.
up for them too and say that it's not technically the Source engine anymore. Originally, in the
their
first
engine.
game, it was
Okay, let me reword that. They made this through the Source engine. This was possible through the Source engine.
Yeah, the first game
fact-
was more of the Source engine, even though they said they gutted a lot of things there. So
Oh,
this
yeah.
one is even more customized to where it's just proprietary at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So the way they've been able to update this older technology to create something that just looks beautiful
They
is
basically treated it like a Honda Civic. They just did whatever they wanted to it, and it's not even the same vehicle anymore. You wouldn't recognize it and that kind of thing. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But in terms of like map design, I can understand you not liking Boomtown Count and
or whichever
really
one
liking
it
Crash.
was.
Boomtown.
Boomtown. I like that, but yeah, I like Crash Site. There's another one I really like, and I can't remember. It's more of the urban one with the building. There's like more buildings in the middle.
Exoplanet?
Yeah, it might have been one of them. Might be Exoplanet. I played them all, so yeah. But the Crash Site, because I like the way you start out. Like, there's your team behind rocks, and there's the other team behind rocks, and you just start shooting it out right there. I like that. There's like no running. You just bam, bam. You're shooting it out right.
That's attrition in general. Usually, I've noticed playing original attrition from Titanfall 1 to Titanfall 2, attrition has changed quite a bit in the sense that usually there would be a slow build up to the action, but I think they've increased the number of minions that spawn because wow, the action just it's intense. It just
definitely there's more. The conflict happens sooner. Yeah, like right away, and everyone's bum rushing. Yeah, so I mean, I'm still getting sniped from time to time, but there wasn't that many snipers. It seems like, you know what I mean? But
there are quite a few sniper rifles.
there's sniper rifles, but
I've never been a big fan of snipers, but I really like the diversity. There's only 3 snipers, but they're so completely unique to one another. We have the DMR, we have the returning. Damn it, what was it? What the other returning rifle? It started with a K or something.
Kraber.
The Kraber.
The Kraber.
Yes.
The Kraber's in there. Yeah.
The Kraber returns, and a whole new sniper called the Double Take. And each 3 of these snipers are very different. Like one sniper, like with the Kraber, for instance, is long range, and the DMR can be long to mid range. While the new Double Take sniper rifle, you have to get that's a sniper rifle. You have to be it's more of like a railgun almost, because you got to get a bit closer. You don't have like a typical sniper scope on that thing, so you got get a bit more closer to aim at the enemy, but it does a ton of damage. Again, that diversity of the weaponry, just so good.
Yep.
Oh man, I could go on talking about Titanfall 2 for hours, but we should talk about some other stuff in other games. So,
but I'm having fun playing the game. I'm having more fun. I like it a little more than I thought I was going to. But I'm kind of. I know you want to hype the game, but like the single player campaign was cool.
Hype the game. I don't want to hype the game count. I'm just saying why I like it. Like I love the game. I don't want if the game's not going to be for everybody. That's the same for every game. Yeah, but I can just tell you that
Let's talk about this concept real quick because it's been in the news as well. I know like IGN put something out like believe the hype, and I'm like, oh god, you never want to promote anything.
That was their tagline for Titanfall 1.
Well, this was IGN.
Oh,
so
IGN.
Shit about
IGN are the biggest hypocrites because in their marketing, in their more professional journalistic stuff, where they're talking about games and giving information on games, they always tend to hype them up. But then if you listen to their podcasts, and I've decided to listen to a few IGN podcasts, if you listen to their podcasts, what they say in their podcast completely contradicts the stuff they say in their promotional material.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, it seems like a really solid game, regardless of whether or not you want to say it's like the most amazing game or anything like that. It's still a really solid game, kind of like Doom. People can say that Doom wasn't to their liking, but I don't think that they could say that it was a bad game
No,
because that
yeah,
would be
definitely
foolish.
not.
exactly.
The same
Now I'm
thing with
having a little
Titanfall
bit
2.
of rubber banding during the server. There was a little bit
That's
of
multiplayer
server
bullshit.
Yeah, they've got some server. So they need to fine tune. They'll work out the bugs. There's no
Oh
doubt.
yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know if
that
you had
sounds like-
any of that problem going on, Tron. I had a little bit of
well,
that.
I have my own problems. Remember,
Oh,
7-year-old system.
that's
I'm getting
true.
I'm getting stuttering.
Ooh.
The thing about me is that I constantly have FPS drops. I have stuttering and lag. It's not unplayable, but it's absolutely noticeable, and it pisses me off
Yeah.
that it's just not staying at a smooth 60. But that's my system. That's
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I'm one step above where you're at, Gamertron, but you're one step above me because you have a better video card. If I had that card in this system, I would be, much further up. So, I feel like if I ran it with my card now, the GTX 670, I would not be having as good of a time. I think I'd be around 40 frames or, something like that. So, yeah.
But let's talk about the bad news.
Oh, okay. What's
Bad
this
news?
news? I don't know if I.
Well, Titanfall 2 about the
Well,
sales.
I was getting around to it
Yeah,
by
go
saying,
ahead. I'm sorry,
talking
yeah.
about the hype thing or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Jans.
people talking about hype and all that. And I think the game, like I said, I think it's a good game, whether or not you like it. And so the way that it got published was, how many days after Battlefield? 6 days?
Oh,
after
1
Battlefield?
week. One week after
7
Battlefield
days.
1.
Okay, I was off by day. So a week after Battlefield 1. And do you know when Call of Duty Infinite Warfare came out in regards to that?
It's about to drop very soon, November 4th,
Yep.
this Friday.
Yep.
Okay, so November 4th. So, let's see. Let me read a couple of things here. I know that, I can't remember the name of what was this analyst, some analysts or whatever, financial analysts that were going to rate, who's the company that actually is responsible for sales? Is it EA or?
EA's the publisher.
Right. Are they responsible for sales? Are they rating them lower now? It's not Respawn that they're rating lower.
No,
It would be
EA's stock.
EA. Right,
EA
their stock.
downgraded their own stock.
Right. Based
Yeah.
on some financial analysts saying that Titanfall's not going to make the amount of sales that they projected.
Basically,
Because-
half. It's going to sell. They're projecting it to sell half of their original projection,
Right. And
which isn't good.
Yeah. Well, their point was, and it's a very valid point, was the fact that, Battlefield 1 just came out, and then they're pushing this game, and then there's Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Unfortunately,
saying that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jans. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. They're just saying that it was a bad move for them to push this game out right after Battlefield 1. So go
Well,
ahead.
unfortunately, I think Titanfall 2 is a little bit of a sacrificial lamb for EA because it's kind of, they're putting it to block some of the sales. Now now Battlefield 1 has actually outsold projections, they said.
Correct.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
And
Yes,
so Titanfall 2 is having disappointing sales, but they're using it. They didn't want to change the release date because they're using it as a blocker, like a double blocker for the Call of Duty, because they're trying
basically,
to.
Yeah, they're trying to. You imagine the political party system in the United States. You have the third party, whatever that bullshit they are, and that's basically what it is. If you vote for third party, you're basically voting for not the winning candidate.
Exactly.
So that's what's going on. They want people to buy into EA stuff, not Call of Duty.
Right.
So that's what they're trying to suck up the sales that would go to Call of Duty.
So
any extra.
It's like that's why I said it's kind of a sacrificial lamb in that regards. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a power play.
Yeah.
It is. It's a power play for money,
Yeah.
and they're trying to justify it, saying that, it's
They were set. They could have
fulfill
always
a different
delayed it.
gameplay motivation. is
Yeah,
what
they
they're
could have
saying. This
always
guy,
delayed it.
Let's see, CFO Blake Jorgensen, he says that it's going to fulfill different gameplay motivations, and then EA chief executive Andrew Wilson said basically it's going to strengthen the company's position in the shooter genre rather than cannibalize the sale of both games. But what they're doing is they're just making excuses now for how much less Titanfall 2 could potentially sell because of how they released it.
Exactly.
And they're absolutely just using the game as a tool to mop up extra money, hopefully. Which is, it's bullshit. But what are you going to do as Respawn? You have a big, publisher like EA that's willing to do all the help you out with marketing and all that. And it's like when Kevin Smith went and made what was that movie called Red State?
Yeah, Red
He made
State.
a movie called Red State,
Yep.
and he published it himself.
I've seen it.
Now, it was actually a really pretty good movie.
It's one of his
because he
best
didn't
movies.
have a big publisher. Yeah,
Right.
It was really good.
Well, he took it a totally different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a totally different theme. You don't even think of that as a Kevin Smith movie. It's nothing like his other movies. Yeah.
Point being that he didn't have a big distributor for that because he was doing it himself. That's always his, it's kind of his thing after working on that one shitty cop movie that he did.
Yeah, that was his. That was his commercialized bullshit. I'm going to do it, because Bruce Willis is in it.
But even at the same time, like, not to get too far down that line, but even I understand why he did that. Sometimes you get into the system because you need to see how that works.
Right.
And so people want to criticize him for what, blah blah blah. Anyways, not the important part. Important part is he did not that movie. I didn't even know it came out. Because there was no marketing behind it. It was just his money.
If you follow him if you would follow him on any social media, though, he talked about it for, ad nauseum. I mean,
exactly.
He's so proud of that movie. Yeah,
it's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
I'd watch it again. But of course he's going to. It's his movie that he made.
Yeah, he's his own self hype. His own self, marketing guy. So
yeah. Point being, it's like you've got this big publisher. You kind of have to go along with what they say, I mean, you may not want that. I kept reading article after article where nobody wanted to take responsibility for when that date was set for release. In fact, all they would say was, well, it was set such a long time ago. But no one would fucking, they
knew what they were doing.
Of course they
did.
They just don't want to,
like, yeah.
Absolutely. So I don't, does it really matter at the end of the day? No, I don't think so. But unfortunately, it looks bad.
Yeah.
It makes it look like Titanfall 2 is the problem. Titanfall 2 is not the problem.
Titanfall 2 is not the problem. No,
it's a good fucking game.
Yeah.
I'll pick it up at some point.
I don't see. Anybody that if you're going to compare it or contrast it to Call of Duty, it's every bit as good as any Call of Duty game or better. So yeah, I mean let's just call it what it is. So
yeah,
But here's the thing specifically with Titanfall 2, like, despite the opening sale, I think word of mouth's already getting around to, like, how good it is. And the fact that they fine-tuned the multiplayer and add so much more progression and stuff to unlock towards, the fact that they've addressed the issues from the first Titanfall that people said, well, I played for a week, then I got bored, there was nothing else for me to do. The fact that they've added so much to do in the multiplayer, and that campaign for people who love single-player first-person shooters, and such as Doom and whatnot, that they're going to eat this up. Like, Titanfall, I know Titanfall 2 is not going to make the millions that
it's never going to be the commercial success Call of Duty. Call of Duty's a monster. You know what I mean? It's an absolute... Every little kid wants to play Call of Duty. It's a household name for casual gamers or whatever. So, for console players.
I get that. Well, despite sales, what Titanfall did is the most important thing of all. They made a great game.
Yep.
They made a great game that's going to last. It's going to last, especially with their new network system, where you get to extremely easily create clans. Like, just a few clicks of the button, you have a clan, and you can invite players to your clan, and everybody can play together. You can set up what's called a happy hour, so that if you're playing on that clan, with that clan at that specific time of day, you gain double XP. So, like,
interesting.
They've done everything right, quite frankly. They've done everything right with Titanfall 2, and the fact that they're giving away free DLC just next month, we're going to be getting a free map. And those of you who have the deluxe edition of Titanfall 2, we're going to be getting some awesome new cosmetics, new Prime Titans. We're going to be getting Ion Prime and Scorch Prime next month, and then months follow.
Warframe?
Yeah. What's up with all the Prime?
Prime. Why is it Prime?
Give me a new Titan.
Prime
I don't
Rip?
give a fuck about a Prime. Give me a brand new, different Titan.
Well, I mean,
I hate variants, man.
It's less work.
Yeah, I hate variants.
It makes sense. If they're not making any money off of it, it also makes sense. It's just more for hype to bring people in. They just want to hype it up, so get more sales.
It's just more customization and cosmetics, basically.
Yeah. Now, I was watching that Jim Sterling thing, and he was talking about he didn't seem to know the DLC was free, first off, and the next thing he was talking about, well, there's no microtransactions yet. And I agree, there's none yet. But given the way that things work, and especially them having the publisher being EA, yeah, that could be very well a thing that could happen. microtransactions. They
Right.
never stuffed it into the original, but who knows? We'll see.
And you know what? It's perfectly fine adding microtransactions to the game because Respawn has stated that there will be no season pass. All future maps and weapons.
Yeah,
and
that's
cosmetics
beautiful. I
will be
don't care if
free.
they try to make money on the side selling
I don't care either.
the little stuff. I never understood why gamers took issue with that. They have to try to have a
don't either.
market. I don't mind a game having a marketplace where you can spend real money. If you're dedicated to that game, do it. Spend the money on it.
Here's the thing that so many young people don't understand is that if you don't work in the gaming industry and if you don't understand how much work and money is put into making games, you wouldn't be complaining about microtransactions in your games. Like I've watched documentaries. I've gone to learn the industry. I visited like Ubisoft Montreal like that, and I've seen the workplaces, and
just
the problem is you can't. It's hard to defend microtransactions when there's been enough scummy bullshit out there.
Yeah,
I mean, even
there's
Deus
a few.
Ex,
there's a select few that ruin it. Give it.
What Deus Ex 2, even or what is it?
Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
Mankind Divided. Even that
those
having that in there,
microtransactions are unacceptable.
that's scummy.
That's
as fuck.
paywall, in-game paywall shit.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Leave that for the
Exactly.
mobile. Leave that for your cell phone
Hold
games.
on. It's not paywall. It's a time wall.
Or time
I
wall.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because paywall would mean you can't get it unless you get
Right.
you pay, but it's more of a time wall.
Right.
It's still scummy. It's still gross. It's like like I want to put my shoes on, but I got to pay for socks.
Right, exactly,
Wait,
yeah.
what? But these are mine already. No. I don't know. It just seems anytime it's the old concept of when you run a business and you nickel and dime people. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It feels cheap.
That's Square Enix. Like that's
Squeenix.
They haven't learned. They've been that's one of the video game publishers that they just don't learn. Like EA, Ubisoft, they learn from their mistakes. Eventually, they do make more mistakes, but they do learn from their mistakes. And
I
they
wonder
do
if it's a Western developer
things.
versus Japanese developer issue, where over there maybe it's not much of a problem. Maybe they just don't give a shit, whereas Western developers tend to acquiesce more to, their constituents, whereas, it seems to be what it is. Even look at Nintendo. They're like, no, fuck it. We're not going to do online gameplay. We think local co-op is how you should do gameplay. And that's great and everything. But at the end of the day, if you can't embrace change as a business, you're going to fail. But, eventually it's going to happen, eventually to every business. But, that's the interesting thing I was thinking of right now. Sorry.
No, I completely agree. You're completely right, man. So we'll see what happens with Titanfall 2. I'm going to be playing it. I can already tell I'm going to be playing this game for years. Already going in my friggin' top 10 games of the year. I love Titanfall 2, man. I'm loving Titanfall 2.
There's more about this like hype stuff and sales and all of that tied to another story really quickly. It may not be quick, but this is definitely tied to it. Bethesda's decision to withhold review copies.
Oh,
Yes.
yes!
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, yes!
You want to talk about it, Count?
No, I just said I heard about it, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
I'll add in whatever, but I saw that headline.
I
was like, oh boy.
I did read up on this.
Good.
So
I did not read up on it.
The way they're handling, before Bethesda would give out reviews, before Doom, because Doom's the first game they did this with. Before Bethesda would give out review copies a week or two early before the game's release to give critics and media outlets time to create videos, create content, and create critical pieces on the product, review copy, what it's for.
Right, it's a review copy for games journalists and reviewers to get their info out about the game. So hopefully the hope to build hype. That's the hope, to be an enthusiast, because that's what games journalists were in the beginning. They were just happy to get something for free. But then you started getting negative reviews, and then you started getting people like Jim Sterling later on that were like, he calls himself a wild card because basically he's not
he's
beholden. He's not beholden to these companies.
Right.
He's only beholden to the people that watch him. That's all he cares about. That's his business, is to give those people what he is producing, and what he's producing is acceptable to them. So he's going to keep doing it, which is perfectly fine. But that's why they don't want to. I think they didn't give him a review copy of Titanfall 2, and we talked about that too. So But yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I kind of was just adding
no,
a
it's
little.
okay. No, you're completely true. It's completely true. You're right, man.
Yeah.
But what Bethesda's doing here is their excuse is they want no one to have an advantage. They want everybody to experience the game at the same time, which is bullshit.
Yes,
we,
it
we
is.
know we know what's going on here.
Mhm.
Doom, they didn't this the first time they did this with Doom, they didn't give out review copies till the day of release. And Doom
Right.
was a critical hit and it's been selling really well. I don't know if you guys have been following up on Doom sales, but
Nope.
that game's like it's one of the best-selling games of the year. Doom.
Mhm.
It's become one of the best-selling games of the year. It's doing very well.
Well, it's always that game was on a lot of people's list.
Mm-hmm.
That if they couldn't, maybe for some financial reason or something, they were eventually going to get that game.
Yeah, and
'Cause
then
I-
there was all the Steam sales and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and
Right.
yeah, exactly. Eventually, I mean, that's on. I can't get it now, but I'm going to play that sometime down the road. That's one of those titles. So
Yeah,
it's got
absolutely.
consistent sales.
It's
throughout
a
the
good
Yes.
game.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to see big. You're not going to see big drops in that game's sales. So
Oh, no doubt.
Yep.
But here's the thing now. Bethesda is now using that as an excuse. Because now
Yes.
that they've seen the success of Doom, they're
That's
like,
correct.
huh, you know what? Doom's a critical darling. It's selling very
yeah.
well. Why don't we do this with all our games? We've
Well,
never
to
done
the
this
public, they're using it as an excuse, but in reality, they know what they're really doing. Yeah.
They know what they're doing. They know in a sense that they're removing all it's rare that Bethesda games get negative reviews, so
Right.
I don't know why. I don't even know why Bethesda's doing
Other
this. Why they'd
publishers
even
have
be
done it
concerned about
too.
reviews.
And I think the fear from games journalists is that that's going to become the norm because they're not the only publisher that's done it before. So they're thinking, well, if that's going to be acceptable to a AAA developer, then that's going to be how the industry is going to change. And a lot of gamers, the environment right now is this whole fuck games journalist kind of thing. Games journalists have kind of painted themselves in that corner themselves, though. You know?
Yeah.
So because anytime if you're given free stuff, it's a lot less likely that you're going to shit on it, especially if you break that connection, you're not going to get free stuff in the future, right? So that means you don't get your review out, which means you don't get your revenue for how many times people go to read your article, which means ad sales. It all just comes back to ad sales, So with everybody getting a copy at the same time, that means there's no forward advance negative anything. That means that people that normally like pre-order sales,
Yes.
there's less of a chance that you're going to have people retracting their money from a pre-order sale. That's a big problem.
Exactly. That's it. This is all about pre-orders because reviews would come out early while people hadn't pre-ordered yet or have a pre-order but considering canceling depending on what they see from the reviews. So basically they're doing this to safeguard pre-orders.
Yeah. No, just really quickly in chat, I thought this was a move. I thought this move was more of a fuck you to game journal. No. You have to understand, business is less about the petty issues that people individually have and more about how do I secure the money. So, if it would be an FU to games journalists only if their revenue is being greatly impacted. And this is more of a move that they see they can do in a positive light because this, like I said, gamers are really not feeling like reviews are really worth much anyways, especially when you have like YouTubers that can review stuff and YouTubers have less of a I don't know how do you put this, less of an inclination to go and talk extremely well about something. They'll more than likely rip a game apart while they're playing it. Then they will just like say, this is the most amazing thing. You will get those, but people can, usually see that coming a mile away as well. So it's just an excuse to just secure that shielding of pre-order sales being retracted.
And
to
to be
not
fair
hurt
though,
day one game sales.
To be fair though, this environment has only spawned. Well, of course, from the gaming community, I give a lot of shit to the gaming community because it does a lot of stupid things that nobody admits to. But
continually getting pre-orders. I didn't pre-order Titanfall 2. I didn't pre-order any. The only game that I pre-ordered was Doom, I believe, and that's because it threw in an extra game, and also knew I was going to get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to complain about the fact that I bought it either. That's ridiculous. So,
but besides that, but the gaming community and games journalists, we've put ourselves in this position where this can happen. This wouldn't have happened if it not for the environment that's been created. And unfortunately, this environment has been kind of created thanks to IGN and GameSpot and the way they're very not transparent about their reviews. They say they're being objective. That's the thing about these game reviews. They say they're being objective. We're being objective in the quality of this product.
Honestly.
Oh yeah, they're not the only ones. I'm
It's
just
kind of
using
just
them
the
as
culture
examples.
of like, this is how it's done, and anyone with any kind of sense is not really gonna take a huge dump on something that's given to them for free, unless they're a total piece of shit that does not give a fuck. So, like Jim Sterling, he doesn't care. But he's got his own. He built up his business. He's not stupid. He built up his business already. He already had people that were interested in what he had to say in the way that he says it. So he's not like starting from square one immediately. Like, let's say people give me review copies. Do you think am I more likely gonna start taking a dump on these review copies that were given to me for free as a starting off reviewer? Or am I going to say, you know what, I better kind of give it a little bit of leeway on the positive side, maybe even middle of the road kind of review, if anything, and not really hammer on it, because those people that gave me this are probably not going to be very happy if I do hammer it, So, yeah, that's nothing is free, that phrase. Nothing is free. They're buying confidence that you're going to give it a positive review, or at least not rail them, and hurt their sales.
It's all about finding balance. It's about finding a balance, and on top of that, like being able to separate objectivity from subjectivity. And I know.
Yeah, that's really hard to do.
I don't know. I don't know how else to put it. I wish there was an easy way out of this. But I guess we can all agree that Bethesda shouldn't be doing what they're doing right now with the not giving away review copies. Just because it worked with Doom doesn't mean it's going to work with other games, and that doesn't mean that there's not going to be a huge backlash from this.
Don't they have a game? Don't they have a big game coming out? Dishonored.
Yeah, Dishonored 2.
Dishonored 2 coming out soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's going to be no review copies for that.
I don't think Shadow Warrior 2 had review copies either, and I know
they
do
did.
know that
they gave one to you.
No. I mean to the game's journalists. You didn't let me finish.
I know.
They actually gave out a lot to what I was going to say was to live streamers and YouTubers and all that. And this is kind of following that model. The difference is it was like maybe a few days before the game came out, but that's kind of the same idea, which is they're giving it to just enthusiasts.
Yeah.
You see, versus business, entities or whatever. So the enthusiasts like myself, like it goes back to that whole psychological thing. I'm really probably not going to take a huge dump on this game because what are the odds that I'm going to get another game from this person after they say, well, oh yeah, we saw what you did. This whole system played out in Warframe, actually. When new content would come out in Warframe on Wednesdays, the YouTubers would rush as fast as possible. This is what's going to happen with games reviews too. They rush as fast as possible in order to be the first one to get their content out because they knew that's what would make the hits. And that's exactly how it worked. So what ended up happening was a lot of the big YouTubers would put out shitty fucking reviews of stuff. They would just can response it, or they would get, feedback from friends, and they would rush through it. They would basically take a weapon to an area and just have somebody rush them through the levels or rush through levels through a little, trick or whatever. So they never really got a feel for equipment or frames, but they got enough information in order to tell people things in order to get that video out there as soon as possible so they could get those views. And how did that end up working out? Shittily. And so if you want to see how this is going to work out, go look at Warframe stuff and how that ended up working. It's horrible. It's horrible. Basically it was Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last.
True.
So it's exactly that's how it's going to happen. People are going to be so much less informed. But this goes back to Stop trying to buy everything day one, you fucking idiots. Especially if you're on PC, you should know that we're going to get patches for games. Look at Skyrim Special Edition.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We're still having fucking terrible problems with it. I heard that they're going to
now they have
try
an
to
audio
fix the
problem
audio
or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But people are so like hyped about Skyrim because they don't know how to, you know, like actually wait a little bit, just a second, just a minute, especially when it comes to PC stuff, to see if it's going to be an issue or not. And these special edition things, same thing happened with what's the underwater one? Bioshock. The the redos for those were crap too.
That was rushed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
So, you know, all this nostalgia and playing off of hype, people really should be so much more skeptical and just really more hesitant to just throw your money because you know you're going to get fucked. You're going to get fucked over because it keeps happening. But yet people keep complaining, but they don't stop their habits, which equals stupidity.
Well, that's kind of one of the beautiful things about being a video game player, though. I mean, some people now, it's even worse now with Twitch. Like you gotta, like you were saying, you gotta be the first. It's that thrill of having that game up on Twitch, live streaming.
It's not thrill. It's
right
money,
when
dude.
it comes out. It's like an addiction. So
it's money.
Yeah, exactly. It's followers
they get
and
subs.
yeah,
They get donations.
Yep.
It's the same as YouTube. It all comes back to cash.
Yep. But it's also an addiction. You know, it can turn into an addiction. They have to have that game.
Because it's fame at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
When you have that many more people hitting up your channel, you become that much bigger of an entity, you know, and then people are following you around, wanting to play games with you, wanting to just hang out with you for whatever reason. Now, I find that like, I don't like that, actually. That started happening with me in Warframe, and I was like, you guys think that no, I'm not a good person to be playing games with. I'm going to kick you out of my group or tell you, you don't want to play games with me. Trust me. I'm not a friendly attitude type person. But people that really like that ego massaging, that totally plays into how they would want to work. So, and that's fine, you know, but that's what's going to happen with games reviews.
I hope not. We'll see what happens. Keep in mind, Bethesda is the only one that's done this so far. Hopefully, they'll get enough of a negative response that they'll revert this.
Well, they're getting a negative response, no doubt. So we will see.
If they get a negative response, who cares on their end, right?
Right.
Like, why would they give a shit?
True.
The
this goes
only
back
way,
to something I've been saying for years.
You know how they could impact them? Don't fucking use your goddamn money. It's your wallet.
Exactly.
It's your money. Don't pre-order. Don't buy day one. You want to really send a message? Do that, but people can't do that. They got to be first.
Well, what about the Titan? Did you hear about the Titanfall 2 people that were pre-ordering the Super Deluxe edition with the helmet on Amazon? I guess they're now telling them it's out of stock, and a lot of people are still they're having pending delivery dates on that. And you're talking about Amazon. People that, Amazon. This isn't a Titanfall 2 issue, but people that would pre-order this back in July still haven't gotten. They were expecting to have this by now. I think it's funny because Angry Joe, it happened to Angry Joe. He got the helmet and everything. He was going to use it in his review, and now he's pissed off because they don't know when they're going to send that to him, and now he can't. His review was kind of banking on using that helmet, in his little skit, and now he's fucked. And he says the Titanfall 2, and he was getting hate anyway because he didn't do Gears of War 4. Instead, everyone
we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that later.
But anyway, that's kind of I mean, that's the risk you take when you
pre-order, off Amazon specifically.
I wouldn't buy a game off Amazon. I don't think. I don't know.
I did. I bought a copy of The Division for a buddy of mine. They just give you a code. Amazon? Are you kidding me? Amazon's not eBay. God, I wouldn't touch eBay.
No. Yeah, definitely not.
Or Green Man Gaming or any of those D2A. But that's me. People have done it and they are successfully purchasing games, and that's perfectly fine. So it's, give me like 3 months or whatever when I'm out of money, and then and then I'll be like, yeah, give me. I just need it. What can I do to get a game? Where can I go?
Where can I go? Yeah.
Where's my Pirate Bay?
Give me a code. Oh, Pirate Bay, the good old days.
Oh
days.
man.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh man. So other games that we played this week, me and Count got to co-op some Gears of War, and I actually got to beat Gears of War this week. Leading up to Titanfall 2, I got to play and beat Gears of War 4, and holy crap did that game surprise me. I really, really like Gears of War 4, and it runs surprisingly well on my system, shockingly.
Runs awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome game. Awesome game.
Oh,
I just have to say, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very,
Count,
very
you and
cool
I,
game.
We got into some awesome firefights with some freaking awesome bosses, eh?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, yeah, that game has surprised me. That's one of those games that when I was clicking buy off the Windows 10 store, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? But now I'm so glad I got the game. I mean, and I don't plan on ever playing the multiplayer. I shouldn't say that. I might try it, but I guess people are digging the multiplayer as well.
Yeah, I would highly recommend that after you beat the campaign count is that you try out the Horde mode. That's what I've been doing. I've been playing the Horde mode. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. The thing about the Horde mode is that depending on which class you play and which map you pick, it plays very differently. On top of that, the waves are randomized. You won't just fight the swarm. You'll also fight the DB robots, and it mixes them up and kind of adds them together. So sometimes you'll be fighting robots and swarm at the same time. It's the Horde mode surprisingly a lot of fun. However, going back to the campaign though, it blew me away. The campaign for Gears of War 4. It has awesome set pieces, some surprising story moments, and just really good combat sections.
I love the weather effects. The weather effects during the battle are just epic. Yeah, the wind bursts and all that. Yeah, it's really
there
cool.
was that one moment, Count, where you and I we were trying to fight our way through for this storm, and the wind's just blowing pieces of the environment everywhere.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look
and
it doesn't look unnatural or anything like that. It's I guess it's well designed, and the physics of the game are really well done, but it looked natural. It didn't look like it was clipping through the environment or bouncing around. Like sometimes game physics can get wonky. The physics in this game for the environmental destruction they look great.
Yep. I agree 100%. For once, we agree 100%.
Yeah.
I have no qualms with you about that at all.
So, what do you like better, Count? Gears of War 4 or Titanfall 2?
Ooh,
Single-player campaign.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Gears of War 4's single... No offense, Tron, but Gears of War 4's single-player campaign blows away Titanfall 2's. I'm sorry.
It should, though.
Yeah,
right?
it should, though. I mean, but...
Because they've been doing it longer.
Yeah, in my opinion, it blows it away. It's... There's a tutorial thrown into the Titanfall 2 campaign, whether you want to admit it or not. There's a tutorial.
There is a tutorial at the beginning.
Yeah,
of the
at the beginning,
like
but it keeps going for a little bit, with the wall running. It even has the ghost showing you the path. You can have the ghost.
It's showing you an optional path count. Actually, there's a lot of optional paths.
I think that's pretty useful too, actually.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's useful for someone like me. Fuck yeah. But sometimes you miss the angle of like, where in the fuck did he end up going? But that right there is kind of the tutorial side of it. But, because it's guiding you along. So, no, Gears of War 4, that's a good question.
I agree. Gears of War 4 has a fantastic campaign. I do believe that Gears of War 4 has the better story and better cinematics.
Oh, yeah.
I just personally prefer Titanfall 2's gameplay. I love the gameplay of Titanfall 2 so much. I do enjoy Gears of War 4, don't get me wrong. I really enjoy that gameplay, but Titanfall 2
they're
with its
different
movement
games,
system... Oh, yeah, they're different games. It's all personal preference.
Yeah,
I personally just find Titanfall 2's campaign very enjoyable, but that's not a shot at Gears of War 4 because... That game just really surprised me because I was really meh with the first Gears of War. I was
Never
really
played
meh.
it. Never played it.
Yeah, I played the first Gears. Well, you guys know I played Ultimate Edition before 4, so it had me looking forward to 4 because I was hoping that 4 would be more refined and just do things better than the first game. And oh boy, did it! Oh boy, did it ever do that! Like it's
Oh man, I love Gears. I actually love Gears of War 4. With the first Gears of War, I was really meh. Was really it's okay. I had some fun. Gears of War 4 is a blast. 4 is
And-
a blast. I love 4 so much more than the first one.
And I can't wait to for all three of us to do toward the end of the year, maybe beginning of December or something, do our top 10 games of the year, each of us. or
Yes,
something.
Oh,
We have an
yeah,
dude, I'm
episode.
doing the
Yeah, we
same
gotta do
thing.
that.
I'm excited
That'll
for
be
that,
fun.
yeah.
I don't
I
wanna
already
have
I already
10
know
games.
Trons, but anyway, I mean
Can I
it'll
pick
be
top 3? Because I don't buy a lot of games. Really
I
don't.
haven't. This is the most games I've bought. I kind of was like doing this podcast maybe into like episode 10 or 11. I'm like, God, these guys have played so many more games than I've played that I need to step up my gaming a little
I
bit.
also just listen to a lot of stuff about games, or
Yeah.
I watch them. That's why I know. But otherwise, I don't really play a lot of games.
But the
I play
diversity.
1 or 2.
Normally, I would get into a game and then get
Mm-hmm.
like just like Marvel Heroes or DC Universe or Guild Wars 2 or something like that, and that would be the only game I play for like a year and a half. That
Yep,
was
that's
always
pretty
the
much my
way
pattern.
I did games. Now, since I met you motherfuckers, now I'm broke because I've been spending a lot more money on games, you bastards. But anyway,
Well,
Count,
I'm
look at
kidding.
it this way.
I'm
Look at it this way. No,
kidding.
I get where
I'm
you're coming from, but look at
kidding.
it this way, man. If
Don't
you wanted
you
to, you don't need to buy any more games for a long
forget
time now.
about
You
me.
have so much variety. You have so many choices now. Like if you get bored of one game, you now have all these choices. Like, I'm not feeling Titanfall 2 today. Let's hop on to Gears today.
Yeah.
Or if I'm not feeling the Division, you can hop on to Doom. Something like that. You have options now.
Well, I just figured I need to expand my repertoire of games a little bit. So I'm glad, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now here's an interesting question I want to bring up, Count. As someone, you've been gaming for a long time, yes?
Yeah, but more of a casual type. Yeah.
I get that.
I mean, I've been gaming. I've had every fucking gaming system. I stopped for like a decade, but anyway, I've had. I started with the Atari 2600. I grew up in arcades.
Now, I want to ask you this, Count. Now, excluding visuals,
Like,
because if we talk about graphics, we can easily say graphics today blow games of old out the wire. But how games play? Are you having more fun with games today than games from years ago? Are you think the games today are you having more? Are games today more enjoyable to you than the games of old?
Well, that's kind of a weird question. I mean, I've made the decision to play more games, so just. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really any game I enjoyed. I was so hooked on DC Universe for like 3 years that any other game, there was a game that, if a game came out between 2011 and 2014, I don't even know. I never played it. You know what I mean? I only played one game during that whole time. But so yeah, I'm having more fun.
Oh,
If
glad
that's
to
your,
hear.
if that's your question.
But-
Do I think they
Yeah.
run better? I'm not. I didn't hear the other part of your question.
I'm just talking about.
It's because
like,
his
if you're
questions are
enjoying
very
yourself.
broad.
They
That's
are
why.
very broad. They're hard to answer.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I have a
answer
better.
that.
I have a better gaming setup now. So yeah, I'm having more. Things run
Mm.
better. I have a better setup now. So
Okay, I was just talking more about just enjoyability, because I can safely say games nowadays I'm enjoying way more than the games of the past. And I love the games of the past. Like, I loved games like Prototype and Wolfenstein back in 2009, but
I
the
don't know.
games today,
I had
not
a
sure
hell
that
of a
it's
lot of
really
fun. I had a hell of a lot of fun playing the original Halo back in like 2001, 2000. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I know there's never going to be a time where I'm as good as I was playing Counter-Strike in an FPS. So that I can't really say,
Right.
that
right.
would be ridiculous. But
I used to get into those text-based games back. I used to
Muds.
play like Bard's Tale on the Commodore 64. Man, we
Yeah.
used to stay up all night playing that shit.
I think they call them Muds.
Yeah, Ultima 1, 2, 3, and 4, Lord British, and all that. We used to play all that shit back in the day. So it's kind of hard to, compare, but I don't know. I was hooked on Pac-Man. I was a Pac-Man junkie. I would steal money from my mom to go play Pac-Man. I was hooked on Pac-Man for like 2 years. spending all my paper out money on Pac-Man. So yeah, I mean, I've been a gaming addict for a long time, but yeah, I mean, the games nowadays are just blowing. They just blow those away.
They should.
So,
And
yeah.
that's to be expected.
Yep.
Really quickly, because we kind of strayed away from Gears of War 4.
Oh yes.
But I know through the Microsoft Store you get that and whatnot, or you can at least, and that's like playable on one system, playable on your PC, whatever. Like you play it anywhere at that point, right?
Yes. Exactly.
Microsoft now is giving the option to enable offline play for Windows 10 games.
Oh
So-
yeah. What? I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, you have to go into like their game store and checkmark play offline. Then you have to go to each one of those games and checkmark play offline in order to
Oh.
play it offline. So the downside is you do have to be online in order to set that up, but you at least have that option, which is, come on, Steam, what the fuck, man? There's some games that I would love to play like that don't really require an online,
Right.
but Steam it's like, no, you gotta be connected. It's like, fuck you, no, I don't. Yeah, so I thought that was a really nice move on Microsoft's part. Granted, I still hate the fact that they have their own store and they try to like make everything go through them, but then so does Steam, so
Well, let's talk
Yeah.
about Microsoft for a second with their
Mhm.
Do we need to?
announcement of their streaming
Oh yeah. They
service,
announced
Beam.
streaming.
They're going with Beam.
well they bought Beam.
They bought Beam, and now it's going to be implemented into Windows 10, where you can stream, and then also the Xbox is going to be using.
Stream to Beam.
Yep, going to Beam. So
So
I
expect
created a
that
Beam
to
account
pick
today,
up.
actually.
Way more. I've had one for a long time.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, the platform is amazing back then because nobody was on it.
Yeah, but what about
So
those
you
custom sounds like fart and they've got so many like
Emotes.
sounds, those
Who
emotes.
cares? It's just new.
So the
bullshit.
streamer can hear that?
I don't know, man. But they didn't have that when I was doing that, but they did have neat things that Twitch later implemented, like polls for things. So if you wanted to
Yeah.
ask a question, you could set it up on the fly.
But now
Like,
they
what
have
game should I
like
play or whatever.
sound emotes where the streamer will be able to
Mhm.
hear the emote, the guy streaming,
Yeah,
while
I don't
you're
know. I don't
playing.
care. That's
That's
the thing is-
annoying.
Yeah, but yeah, whatever. I'm sure the kids will love it. So,
Oh, yeah.
because people don't go to a stream to watch you play a game successfully most of the time. They want to see you die because they're going there just to be entertained. They don't really care about your skill. They want to see you die a lot of the time.
Or they
I think
want to
that's what it
troll
is.
you or
Yeah,
or,
yeah,
or
exactly.
act,
There's
kind of
very
act
few times-
cliquish or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Very few times that they want to actually just watch what you're doing. More times that they want to go and fuck with you. So
There's
whether
a
it's
Destiny
songs or-
streamer.
yeah.
I know Grammaton Dryad knows who I'm talking about. There's a Destiny streamer that actually gets his name is Say No to Rage, and I know I'm name dropping, but he actually
I know.
gets pissed off when people are in his live stream.
Yeah,
Like really?
I can
Like,
understand.
Yeah, shut the chat off then. I mean, he gets like
can
pissed off
understand.
when people ask him questions and shit. I'm like,
New
huh?
people show up to my stream,
Oh,
and
I
I
watched
usually
Say
make
No
them
to
go
Rage.
away.
I'm actually a fan of him. I'm surprised you knew him. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but he's like gets triggered really easily by the littlest thing. Me and Graham were making fun one day.
Cool. And that's what
Wait, were
people
you
go
in
there
his
for.
stream?
No, I went. We were watching his stream. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why people go there to see him do that. So, yeah.
It should be say yes to rage.
So having Beam integrated into Windows, I guess that's going to be like what having Twitch integrated into consoles. You're
Yeah.
gonna have a shitload
Yeah.
of people streaming that couldn't do it before because they didn't know how to figure
Exactly.
it out. So this is going to be kind of a nightmare in some aspects. I'm curious as to like how integrated it is, because do you not need your own platform like OBS? Do you not need your
I don't think you do.
Oh.
So that's interesting. So it's a program that's built in or something?
Yeah, kind
I
of
have
like
no
on the
idea.
PS4, you can just hit share on Twitch, broadcast
I'm gonna have to
to
look
Twitch.
around because I have a brand new install of Windows 10 64 Pro, and I don't see Beam on here. So I'm curious as to how that.
It's not out.
integrates.
I don't think they've implemented it yet. I think
Okay,
they said
so-
it was going to be in an update in early 2017. I could be wrong about that,
Okay,
but
that makes more
yeah, don't
sense. It's
quote
gonna
me
be-
on that. But and once again, I'm name dropping. Angry Joe did a rant about it, a video rant about the Microsoft Beam thing.
That's what he's known for. So yeah, okay.
But he really
He
wasn't
rants, that's
ranting.
his
He
thing,
wasn't
he's
like
angry.
angrily ranting, but he just mistitled his video saying an angry rant, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he's using an angry as
Angry
like
as a
the
trademark,
build,
but
trade-
yeah.
the brand.
Yeah.
But when you
Angry
put
rant,
epic
yeah.
fail or when you put rant on your
Sure, that's different.
on your thumbnail, you know.
Well, you gotta clickbait. Come on, that's how you play the game up there. No way you can get
Yeah.
around it. There's no way you can get around it.
Oh, it's an angry reaction. I'm sorry.
An
It was
angry
reaction.
An angry
Yeah.
reaction. Yeah. Okay. Neat. Great.
And Chanzer angrily doesn't give a shit. So
No,
yeah,
I
there
really
you go.
don't. I don't care what he says.
Okay.
He's not making me money. I'm not getting residuals off his ass, and I've
That's
never
true.
listened to his channel. You know, it's like he's doing a good job. I don't give a fuck.
There you go.
He's got a
Yeah.
good job. I need his fans to come over here and follow
Yes,
us. And
That'd be nice.
exactly.
They're not going to do that if
Uh,
keep bad mouthing him though. So yeah,
well, they're not going to do
Exactly.
that till we get Nitpicky Joe back. That's
Yeah.
nobody wants to see that.
Oh,
I
I
wanna
did.
see
He's
that.
Oh,
great.
get the fuck out of here.
That's
But
a
anyway,
great little act that you do. You don't want to admit it, but it's pretty
Yes.
hilarious.
it's,
You should do for Halloween. There you go. Do a
Yes!
live
Oh
stream
my
with
God,
Nitpicky Joe
yes!
for Halloween. Nitpicky Joe.
If I had
does
the
his review
creative-
on Titanfall 2.
if I had the creative juices, maybe, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
get.
know.
That's understandable.
yeah.
I get you. More
I've
of
been
this
in
kind
the
of
zone
stuff?
of just playing games lately. Instead
You
of
have.
you know what I mean. It's just oh man,
You've been buying and playing. It's
buying
true.
and playing, and I'm broke.
Yep.
I'm
Good
going
man.
through a rough
Good
time.
man. Oh,
More
I'm not broke, I'm
Windows
just kidding.
Windows 10 news and maybe kind of a little bit of a PSA as well. So I've been
Oh.
having a lot of problems with OBS crashing
Ooh.
ever since I
Oh.
upgraded I didn't upgrade. I basically swapped out my hard drive to a better hard drive, an SSD. It's still the same operating system and everything. It's still the same install type, which is Windows 7 Pro 64 with Windows 10 Pro 64 on top of it, just the way it was before, only with an SSD now. So you would think that being the only modifier, that everything should be better. Apparently it's not. For whatever reason, OBS decides that it wants to crash now. Now, there's one big important thing. There was an update that was done, Windows Anniversary Edition, that started messing with video capture streams. And apparently there was also an update with NVIDIA drivers that was done that is clashing with Windows, Microsoft's, driver set somewhere in there. Something's not working right with the VRAM apparently. So if you go to OBS, if you're having an issue with OBS Studio crashing on Windows 10, and you use a webcam, or even if you're just using the preview of OBS and it crashes, it could be that you're having the same issue. So it's something with Direct 3D 11. And there's an error that comes out. If you look in your log file, it says device texture create failed to create 2D texture. So if you go to OBS project and you just search PSA for Windows 10 anniversary update, you'll find this entire thread where they talk about, they have developers with OBS talking to Microsoft and talking to NVIDIA. They've all come down to finding out that it's a problem with an NVIDIA driver, and NVIDIA's, Microsoft has talked to NVIDIA, and apparently NVIDIA is going to make an update for that. But when? I don't know. So in the meantime, they have a few different options that you could try to do to fix this. One being the simplest thing of disable OBS Studio Preview. So if you use OBS Studio, you know of the preview window that shows everything that's on your screen that you're going to be live streaming. Basically, set up everything the way you need to, shut down OBS, because if you have it up and you encounter that error, which you're not going to see, it's a silent error that just gets logged, then it will cause this issue. So I was having things like a lot of drop frames, and then eventually the stream, OBS itself would freeze, and I could not shut it off. I would hit stop streaming, and it would say stopping stream, but it wouldn't actually do it. I'd have to hit stopping stream, and then I could actually kill it. And then I'd have to shut down OBS because the preview would still be frozen. So
Have you
So
ever tried
basically-
Tachyon? Isn't that like an OBS premium or something that you pay for?
Once again, this really doesn't seem to be an issue with just OBS. I've had the same.
got you.
I've had similar issues with GameShow because it uses preview windows. It has to do with, like, apparently the video card RAM having a leak.
Okay.
Yeah. with how it handles video streaming. So basically there's
Gotcha.
nothing I can really do, and it's Windows 10 Anniversary Edition, which is a build version 1607. So yeah, because I was trying XSplit. XSplit was giving me weird, like, drop frames and bad, like, syncing of video and audio. And I was like, I'm not going to bother with that. So I tried GameShow. GameShow was giving me shitloads of drop streams.
I get
mean,
drop frames on the Division a little bit, but everything else, I think it's something to do with
I had
the
like
Uplay.
4,000 drop frames within like a 30-minute interval at most.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And in fact, when I tried playing Shadow Warrior 2, it just totally like borked the entire stream. It was like, no, fuck you. Shadow Warrior 2 has a shitload of stuff going on, explosion.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So basically, the best way to handle this is set up your whatever you're going to stream, shut down OBS Studio specifically, start it back. Oh wait, before you shut it down, disable the preview so it doesn't show up in the window. So that's not trying to run and missing, causing an error, which eventually causes an error with OBS itself and freezes it up, which breaks your stream. I thought it was like my network card. I thought it was, I was like, what are the potential? The potentials could be a whole bunch of things because it's a PC. It's not a console. So,
right.
it could be any number of issues. So I'm going to give that a shot probably after this live stream and see how that works out. Hopefully that simple thing will fix it. There were other things, like people were saying, maybe if you have the option, which I don't, because I did the install that I did of Windows 10, it was after the anniversary update. People were saying that basically just roll back that update. And if you go to that one thread on OBS project, you'll see what update number it is. The problem with that, of course, is then you're probably opening yourself up to some security issues.
Yeah.
So, it's a no-win situation. The real thing is just to wait till, the update comes out. If you're having this big issue, I'm guessing there's other little factors in there. Other people were saying that they rolled back to a different version of an NVIDIA driver, but that was not really a full fix for everyone. The one that seems to hit and actually work is disabling your preview window. That's it. So it has something to do with how Windows handles the video streams. I'm not sure. You'd have to go read up on it. So yeah, I'm hoping that can get fixed.
Yeah, I hope you get it all. I know you're obsessing over it.
Oh yeah.
I know it's driving you nuts. Yeah, now you know how I felt with my old rig. Shit was driving me nuts.
I know. I totally understand. But this is how I handle, like, even when I was working like code development, that's how I handle every problem that I encounter in development as well. And that's why I was good at my job, because it's relentless. Yeah. It's a like obsessive, behavior, but I use that to a positive effect. Yeah. I'm going to find a fucking answer. It's just a matter of time. So,
hey, Zydex computers. I saw Zydex gave what is that, Plebe Gaming or something? They have almost 1 million subscribers, where it's kind of like Best Friends Play. It's like 3 or 4 guys that get on there and play a lot of Arc and everything.
Like
they gave them, there you go. Yeah, Zydex.
Stuff.
They gave them like an awesome rig, man.
Nice.
Yeah, Zydex did. So
we need that for streaming. Come on.
I'm telling you, we got to get big so Zydex can give us some shit.
So if you move to Canada, then I just need to move to Canada, and there you go. We can just we can get it.
Well, I moved to Canada, and I'm going to be an online poker streamer. Yeah, I'm going to start my shit. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Awesome.
Yeah. Fuck the U.S. Did I say that? Yeah. And fuck anybody that doesn't like the Breakfast Club. But anyway, you knew I have to throw it. I got to do it, Janzer. Janzer, I know you.
Now, can I talk about GameShow just really quickly?
Oh, go ahead. You talk. Go ahead. I thought you were done.
No. Well, I was with that part.
I'm streaming with GameShow as we speak, by the way.
Yeah, because I was having such problems with OBS. I tried XSplit, and that gave me whatever issues. GameShow gave me issues, but that's because I'm probably having that same issue within Windows 10 with my video card and that driver. There's a number of things that are probably clicking the wrong way. But when I was using GameShow, I have to say that is an amazing fucking piece of software.
It's awesome. I recommend it. I recommend it wholeheartedly.
It's extremely easy to set up your scenes, and it has nice little built-in transitions. So
it's like a little movie studio for
yeah,
streaming.
you stage everything.
Yeah.
You hit transition. It's just right there. You don't have to do anything.
Bam.
And then it does it live, and it
Yep.
kind of smoothly,
And you can live it on. You can live it to your preview before you actually go
Exactly.
live with it.
That's
is
what I
the
meant by
beautiful
stage.
thing.
Yeah. The stage is your preview. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you can. Yeah, it's and they're adding more and more, and they're very proactive. They do a weekly live stream. They're really into this. So
yeah, they had the things like
yeah.
you want Twitch chat. Normally with OBS, you have to go and you have to go to something like Night Dev and then go grab the URL.
They're going to have all that implemented.
And blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
blah.
2017. They've talked about the stuff that they're going to add
Well,
to
the chat's
it.
already there. I used it last
Yeah.
night, and it even has options that you can go and mess with itself. And I was like, wow, this is already set up for me. I don't even. I just have to mess with it inside of this user interface, which, by the way, is a very nice user interface.
For
And I use a lot of
$29 a
programs.
year.
Mhm.
They say they sell the lifetime now for $29, but
No,
that's
no,
1
we'll get
year.
into that.
It's
Yeah.
basically $29 a year. I'm in. $29 a year, and 2017. I know they're going to do stuff with multi-streaming where we'll be able to share the webcams and stuff. That's going to be big for us.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Going forward. Yeah, so
That'd be good.
I can't wait. I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, the user interface is very professional.
Yep.
Whoever is handling it, you said who was handling the development of it?
I think Telestream.
Telestream.
They do Wirecast or something. Don't
Okay,
quote. I
Wirecast.
might be getting some of this wrong, but
All I know is whoever's handling the user interface
They're
for this
good.
program knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yes,
and I
he's
deal
good.
with user experience and user interfaces.
Yep.
And I've just handled a lot of programs because it's part of being a developer.
Yep.
And it is a fucking beautiful system. Like it's
It's-
pretty intuitive.
yeah,
It's pretty intuitive. There was nothing that I couldn't figure out when I was live streaming and just get going right then and there. There were just, I was like, where's this? Is it here? Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
And it's actually there. Okay.
Yep.
Everything made sense.
you can create
So-
layers and have like you can do a lot of shit with it. It's just the tip of the iceberg. They're getting
Yeah, your integration with
Yep.
like getting authorization for your Twitch channel.
easy.
Normally you have to go and you have to
YouTube.
get
They've
your-
got all the
your-
presets for
Yeah, normally you have to get
yeah.
your stream key and all that stuff. You don't have to do
Nope.
that.
Nope.
They just automatically
Yep.
open up a pop-up window. You authorize it with your password and all that stuff, and you're ready, set to go. So there's
Mm-hmm.
no more of this like having to memorize passwords and all this. You just have to know your account passwords and all that.
Yep.
So it integrates. And a lot of streamers already do this with other systems such as, Stream Tip or Streamlabs or whatever, Twitch Alerts. I think Twitch Alerts is Streamlabs now. I use Muxy, but
Streamlabs
there's-
just bought the overlay system that I'm using, that Strexim or whatever. The overlay, they just bought them. So
That's
yeah,
another thing
they're-
to mention is that system. GameShow has overlays too. So if you don't want to
They've
create
got their
an
own
overlay,
built-in, for
Mhm.
each game.
You can pick some.
Yeah, for Destiny and
right?
Titanfall.
That's kinda
They got
interesting.
Titanfall on there, and
Yeah, they have some generic ones, and they
Yep.
also have custom one as well.
Yep.
So if you just want to do it, on your own.
Yep.
So I can't recommend any higher. The issue of the 29 now, their wording is a little bit
yeah, they're a little
bullshit.
They're a little
Yeah,
shaky
because they
on that.
say you pay $29 and you have the thing for life. They're right. You do pay $29 and you have that version of that software that you download that day
For a year.
life. For a year, you'll
Yes.
get updates for it, and then after that, you don't get anything else unless you pay another $29
Exactly.
for the next year. So
I'm
it's
just going to call
basically
it $29 a year.
subscription-based-
It's $29 a year.
It's
Originally, it was
basically-
$8.99 a month.
Yeah, well, see, that's a huge jump. So it's basically a
Yeah.
subscription purchase
Yep.
that you're going to be paying $30 a year for. So,
Yeah.
XSplit has its own, you pay per month or per set of
Yeah.
months for things like the audio codecs and whatever. You pay for that. But so it's $30 a year. What's that break down to?
Yeah, I mean,
Let's see, 60 is $5.
$3
so
a month,
250
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, 250 something like that.
260, 270 a month, something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
It's actually not bad.
not bad.
And given the fact that what the development seems, you can go back and look at their development and what they've added. They're very much on it.
Yeah.
They're very
Yep.
much adding a lot of updates.
They do a live stream on Twitch every Friday.
Yeah.
Like
I
they'll
would
do
say
a
that
game and they'll show some of the new features. They got some new they've improved their chroma key
Mhm.
for streamers. They got some multi-stream stuff coming out, like I said, and
Now the problem is until I get my whatever Windows or NVIDIA fixes their driver issue, it's not going to work for me.
You need a new graphics card, dude. That's
I
the
do,
bottom
but
line.
it's still not just me, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. This
Yeah.
is like a Microsoft / NVIDIA issue in total. AMD already has a fix. If you go to that thread, like I said,
Right.
AMD knew what the problem was. They fixed it already with their driver pack. NVIDIA has not. So it doesn't really matter that the reason my 670 is probably hitting it higher sooner is because it's an older card.
Right.
And it has to do with VRAM getting full up. Now I'm playing the Division, so it crashes that much quicker. Because the Division, it really requires a lot of processing power from the video card.
Division's like a benchmarking
Yeah.
deal, but
Yeah, because we live streamed the podcast last week, and that was 2 hours, and OBS didn't crash. It's because nothing's fucking going on,
right.
And we also didn't use the webcams, so there was no video RAM that was really, being pressed for anything.
Yep.
It's just when it tops out, it's like, all right, we're done. I'm crashing. So, yep, that's pretty much it. GameShow better give me some money for giving them.
Yeah,
some
I
shit.
mean, I'll tweet out. I'll
thing.
tweet out something to them.
I'll tell you what.
Hey, we're streaming our show with GameShow. We love it, and all that.
They should at least give you the option to turn the preview stuff off. That's why I can't use it. If they had that, then I could use it now.
Right.
But because I can't,
they only
then
have
I'm
3
getting all
options.
of
They have
these
dual.
errors.
They have the display preview, display live, and then the dual one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All in all, if all of that was working right with drivers, then it'd be totally fine.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the game show thing. Yeah, if you guys want to talk about movies. Otherwise, I
don't want to get right. I had one more. I had a little tech news. Astro Headsets has a new A50 wireless out that just released today. It's $300, but here's the kicker: the base is self-charging. There's no wires. It's a magnetic charging. You just lay your headphones on the base, and it charges. And it's got up to 15 hours of life. So there's $300. I'm going to be take my money. I mean, I've got Astro A50s on, but I have to plug them into, they've only got like 6-7 hours of life, and I have to actually plug them into a wire.
How long do these last?
That supposedly, it's got a flat magnetic charging base, and supposedly it's 15 hours.
And it's a wireless charging?
And it's totally wireless charging.
They're doing the exact correct thing then.
$300.
I got rid of some headphones the other day or the other week or so because they had 8-hour life on them, but I had to plug them in, and I was like, no.
Yeah, to charge my headphones here, I have to actually plug it in to the transmitter, and these, I mean, it's still digital optical from the transmitter to whatever you're using, and USB to your computer or whatever, but.
If I have to plug anything in to charge it, that's not convenient. It ain't gonna work. Not for wireless.
That's what I'm saying.
It has to be a wireless charging. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that sounds awesome.
Yeah, you just set them on there. They have them for cell phones where you can just set them on this charging plate and it charges without a USB or anything like that. Well, this is non-USB charging. So yeah, take my money. So what I'm gonna do is try to trade these into Best Buy and try to get the upgrade and pay them whatever they need to. Dude, Best Buy, I bought the insurance on these, so Best Buy lets me do that. They let me go in, and that's the one good thing about Best Buy. So, in my opinion, so.
Cool.
So yeah, that's my little tech news. Yeah. So.
Well, one more piece of hardware news, and it actually relates to video cards. Apparently, EVGA, their NVIDIA. I just saw this right before the podcast. Their NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080 and 1070 cards are. It says, allegedly going down in a blaze of glory. Now, I'm going to read a little bit of something here. Following a rash of complaints about overheating graphics cards causing black screens and, in some cases, even burning up and dying, EVGA is extending an olive branch of sorts by offering owners of its FTW GeForce GTX 1070 and GTX 1080 graphic cards a free thermal pad.
Oh, really? The For the Win editions?
Probably prefer EVGA acknowledge there's an issue, but so far it hasn't done so. I do know, and I have that. I have a EVGA For the Win GTX 670, which I'm still running.
Yeah.
The one thing I like
that's
about it is
the
fact
dual
that it has
fan non-blower style.
Yeah, but it has a lifetime, warranty on it. So they're saying that they would rather have the cards fixed. Now, they might sneak in a fix, when they RMA their card, but they may not just acknowledge it instead. So that's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Still, that's the first I've heard of that.
Oh, interesting.
That is
I don't know
interesting.
what the fuck is a thermal pad.
Fuck if I know. I don't.
Thermal pad. I think that has something to do with like if you have a cooling system.
I could be mistaken.
Thermal pads
Well,
is
maybe
something you
they.
put on your lap
Maybe it's
that
something
wanna
you
warm your
attach to
legs
the
up.
back plate, because I think the For the Win edition has a back plate on the card, and maybe it's something that helps dissipate the heat. I have no idea
Thermal
what that
pad.
is. I might have to go to Jay's 2 cents. I get all my news from Jay's 2 cents, his YouTube.
Okay.
He knows his shit. Yeah.
Awesome.
As far as graphics cards, he's an enthusiast. So yeah.
Ooh, check
Awesome.
him out.
Yeah, Jay's 2 cents. He does a podcast, and he's a tech expert basically on the graphics
He
cards.
basically
and,
reads up and keeps up with tech.
yeah,
I
he's
used
got
to
a
do
couple
that.
million subscribers. He's a full-time YouTuber. So.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he's pretty entertaining. Pretty good guy.
Yeah. See, that always throws me off. The bigger a channel gets, the more it tries to acquiesce to everyone. The worse that their
This guy's
news
good
comes
though.
out.
He's no bullshit. I mean, this guy. I mean, he knows his shit. So.
Cool.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got here. Other than
Is that the
No
cast?
Man's Sky keeps staying in the goddamn news,
b-
getting hacked.
Before I
apparently.
hash it out with Tehran real quick.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait, who got hacked?
Until I school this, I school this youngster on good movies.
Oh
Well,
yeah, sure.
do we have
sure.
anything
No
else
Man's
to?
Sky, No Man's Sky Twitter account tweeted
Got
out,
hacked. No Man's
What?
Sky
No,
was a
no,
mistake.
Hold on, let me finish.
I'm sorry.
It's not even a hack or a mistake. The account tweeted, Hello Games account tweeted out that, No Man's Sky was a mistake. I'm sorry. That's what you were saying.
Yeah, I'm
That's what you were
sorry.
saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm dumb. But they found out that it was an ex-employee that was disgruntled. So at first,
That's
they were like,
even
the
better.
thing got
I didn't
hacked.
know that. I didn't know that part.
They didn't get hacked, technically.
Technically,
It's just
that's
that
not a
they-
hack. That's just somebody. That's a grievance.
Right,
That's
exactly. It's like
yeah.
if I wanted to do something, say something bad about my employer or go onto one of the media accounts. See, that's the problem with Hello Games not changing out their passwords. That's a
True.
security issue. That's their own fault, actually. Because when my employer, like I exited from there, I already know that system. They immediately swap out all passwords.
Oh, of course.
They like just,
yeah, they don't want Janser in there putting Pornhub shit on there.
or whatever. They don't want me to have access to anything, and that's totally understandable and acceptable.
Well,
You
that's
don't
like
need
you
that
giving me the stream
ex-employees-
key for the B3 GamingCast. When you kick me off the show, I'm gonna inundate it with porn and shit and get you banned off Twitch. Just
Well,
so-
that's why it's going to be an immediate.
you better
password
read it. You
change.
better change that. Yeah, you better do a refresh on that stream key there, buddy.
Yeah, whatever. But
After
yeah,
I
that's
piss
the
off
only other thing.
Gamertron about the Breakfast Club. But anyway,
Oh,
The last
please.
thing I did have was that SAG after thing. The whole
Oh,
voice
yeah.
actors,
Yep.
whatever. So
Oh yes,
apparently
they're officially on strike.
they're officially on strike, and apparently there was a PR company from the developer side that basically put up a website talking about how the Voice Actors Guild was holding up, negotiations by not letting all the voice actors know everything that was actually going on during negotiations.
yeah,
And it was apparently one side is saying it's a bullshit website, that none of that stuff is true, and the other side is not really trying to say much about them putting the
Right.
website up at all. So they issued like a takedown to take the site down, saying that it's just bullshit. So I don't know, just little last piece of news, and that's all. That was it.
That's a shame. I really hope the voice actors deserve better, man.
Yeah,
and-
I saw
and to-
Troy
and it-
Baker saying, "Look, I'm not part of that. So don't try to put me in that. I'm not part of that. People don't know, what's going on there. Apparently,
pay your voice actors. Look at all the money that they're saving
some of
for
them.
not giving out preview copies. I mean, they're saving what, a couple thousand. Pay those voice actors, man.
well, that was an
Pay
interesting
'em.
thing too. They were saying that the money that they paid that PR firm to create that website was more money than they were even asking for certain
Yeah,
payouts.
pay your voice actors.
Oh.
Pay your voice actors.
So.
don't get it. I don't get why some game devs are against this, because some game devs actually came out and stated, some game developers actually said this, like it's selfish of that voice actors would want to make more money than us. We do all the work, and I'm just like, you idiot! They're not asking to make more money than you. They're asking for fair pay for what they do, just like you asked for fair pay from what you do from your publisher.
I don't know if we went. I don't think we went over this, but one of the things that the dev companies, the different ones, tried to do was offer stock option. So when stocks went up, but they struck that down, which to me is stupid. That means that whoever's handling negotiations, I almost agree with the website being put up, that the voice actors don't really know the full details of what's being offered, because money is money, but stock is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
unless
that's a
you
good
think that the
thing.
game is not going to work. And in some cases, stock is better than getting a small percentage or a $950 payout.
Yeah, ask
which sounds
Microsoft.
like bullshit.
Yeah, ask Microsoft employees about
$950 payout for
stock
like 10 million
options.
copies being sold.
Yeah.
I would rather have stock options from the company. But I think that once again, like everything, it's down to communication.
Yeah.
Communication issues.
Yep.
You know.
Mm.
So.
Well,
yeah.
I hope it gets positively resolved. I hope there's not more conflict. I hope just the people who need to get paid, and leave it at that. Let's not drag this out. Give people what they're owed and move on.
I agree.
All right, have it at y'all.
Oh boy.
So Gamertron made an interesting little the Vlogtron show number 9
yes.
got a big dislike from me. I think Janzer disliked that. I'm gonna start a little GoFundMe campaign to get that dislike
oh my
ratio
God.
so large.
I didn't
How
know about
dare
it.
you, sir?
Oh,
I didn't know
John
about it until
Hughes.
Gamertron
is
told
a
me about it
hack.
first.
John Hughes is a hack. The guy that wrote National Lampoon Vacation is a hack. The guy that wrote and directed Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a hack. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Home Alone. Do you want me to go on with the classic movies he's written or directed?
No.
Weird Science.
I just wanted to trigger you, and it worked.
It worked. It worked extremely well. I'm in SJW mode right now, so let me go, Janzer.
And it did work.
Hey, that's a
It did
microaggression.
work. Now, here, the Gamertron told me about it, and he said that, it had so many negatives and blah, blah, blah. So I went to go look at it because of that. It only had like 200 views at the time, dude. So I don't know, unless it's blown up. I think.
No, I'm talking about the movie. I'm talking about the movie had so many negatives, not my video.
No, you said that people were like fans of the movie were really against what you were saying
In the comments.
Yeah,
and
that's what
not
you
a
told me.
lot. I said just some fans. Like as soon as the video went up, I got
No,
one or
you
two
said a
comments
lot. You
saying-
said that there was quite a, and I was like, oh, really? Okay, I'll go
No,
check it out.
I think you're misinterpreting or misremembering, Janzer. I didn't say there were that many people. I said there were some fans, and there are some fans that, as soon as I upload the video, said, "No, The Breakfast Club's a great movie." Good for them.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with you saying that you don't like The Breakfast Club. But you didn't live in the 80s. You didn't go to high school in the 80s. And you said, like, the writers made these characters alien. There's a lot of aliens, apparently, at my high school in the 80s, because this is considered the classic high school movie. And John Hughes, like Janzer said, he created this style that's been emulated, but never, it's been copied, but it's never been... a lot of movies. A lot of movies
really didn't associate with like movies from the 50s or 60s, or it wasn't a thing that they were seeing themselves represented in any way. So one way to get people on your side is to represent them, to give them something to kind of connect to. So regardless of whether or not you think it was stereotypes, which they were stereotypes.
That's the whole point.
And the other thing about, just really quickly, about them being stereotypes and them having no character progression, I was kind of a little like thrown off by that. I was like, what? Did you not watch them?
Yeah.
The whole point was breaking down those stereotypes. That was actually everything that the movie was about. And they did that.
Beautifully.
And there was progression as well. Well, no. It's
The
okay that
characters
you say no,
progressed over the
because you're actually in the very small minority at this point that
Yeah.
thinks that, and that's perfectly fine, but it did happen. So your opinion is that it didn't, but that is absolutely
wait,
an
what
opinion.
did and didn't happen? What are you talking about? My opinion,
Character
what now?
progression to break
Oh
stereotypes.
yeah.
Okay,
No, that didn't
yeah,
break
because
stereotypes.
it was 1984 when that came out. I was a sophomore in high school in 1984. I remember when that movie hit. It changed, like, everyone in our high school. I mean, everybody was talking about that movie. That movie was like a phenomenon at the time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It
it's
was
a
high
huge-
school. Everybody, because it was the first movie that actually. See, teenagers take themselves a lot more seriously. Like you might depict a teenager, like a lot of movies would depict a teenager like, oh golly, like fucking Wally and the Beaver or something. You know what I mean? They were never taken seriously in movies, and this is like
what I was saying.
This is the first
what I was
movie
saying.
that kind of got into the mindset of a teenager,
Right.
where they take everything so seriously, like they're adults, like they're treating them like their little eco circle, their little eco circle in their high school, and they made it seem like an
recognize these
adult
stereotypes, and they're
situation.
Like, hey,
yeah,
this is more like us, not the movies of the 70s or the 60s. They weren't, it wasn't the same. They were actually seeing themselves as groups being identified on screen,
Yep.
which is why they connected with it, which is why it was important. And they knew it was bullshit stereotypes, and the movie did too.
Right.
That's why they worked to break those down. In fact, the movie's more like a play where it's played out just in one fucking scene.
exactly,
Or a couple at
exactly.
most. Where
Yeah.
the majority of the movie really is just about exposition and explaining the characters and why they are not stereotypical, or why they look like stereotypes on the outside, but they explain what is the reason why they act this way. What are the deeper levels that people don't understand. And it was probably one of the first movies that did that, like Count said, for teenagers. That's why it was important. So good movie.
Yeah,
or
it got
not,
into the mindset more of a teenager. Now, you could say anything you want about the Brat Pack's acting. Emilio Estevez isn't a great actor. Molly Ringwald's a terrible actress.
I do like that line, though, that he said, 2 hits, me hitting you hitting
And
the floor. I
yeah,
love
it's
that line.
just
Come
that's
on.
John Hughes. I mean,
That is hilarious.
That's fair.
I use that
he,
every once in a while for fun. It's just funny.
But-
It's hilarious.
But you sat there and in your video, you were like, the writers, John Hughes wrote that movie, he directed the movie, produced the movie. I mean, he's never won any like critical awards, but he has a style that everybody's been trying. Even Kevin Smith says John Hughes is one of his big influences, the guy that made that. So there's
I'm not
a lot.
huge John Hughes fan. I'm really not.
Yeah,
But
I mean, no.
there are certain movies
yeah.
or scenes of certain movies where I'm like, that's pretty good.
Now, Tron, you're
so-
not the only younger person that I've talked to that doesn't like The Breakfast Club. So I'm not saying, oh, I can't believe you don't like The Breakfast Club. I understand it, but the reasonings you gave in that video, you were talking out of your ass. I'm just saying, the 80s, that's exactly, I could pinpoint
Look,
the
I
people
don't
in
like
my high school
Vampire Diaries.
were exactly...
So
The people
but
in
maybe it's a
that movie
generational
were
gap.
exactly like the majority of the people in my high school going to high school.
I need to ask then. So you had teachers asking students to punch them in the face so they could get them in
Oh,
trouble. You
yeah.
had
We
students
had shit like that.
climbing in the ceiling, climbing
hold on
in
a
the
second.
ceiling, trying
That's
to.
one thing that you did, Gamertron, that was very personal, where you tried to elevate the movie into a larger arena than the fact that it was a movie and it was supposed to be entertaining. Now you know this
But
above
if
it.
it,
You
it
even
wasn't
said it in your
entertaining.
comments.
If it's going to be a movie, it
Well,
has to
you
be
even said in
entertaining.
your comments, you were just saying right now, what about these hyperbolic reactions? You said in your comments to somebody, well, I was just, a little bit over the top. Well, yeah, so were they, because they're acting in a movie to make it a little bit more. Now, were there, teachers that probably reacted badly to students in the history? Absolutely. I'm sure there's people that have had,
You
teachers
don't
give them
understand.
shit 'cause
In
they don't
8th
like them.
grade, I got a lot of detention. I got put in a lot of detention. I got caught for reading comic books in class. We skipped school because there was an arcade across
What
the
comic
way.
books? Was it worth it?
Oh yeah, fucking all the Marvel shit. Fuck DC.
Oh.
But anyway, I got a lot of detention in like 7th and 8th grade. We absolutely had people doing that shit. We had people locking people pinning shit up against the door so the fucking teacher that was on detention duty couldn't get in. We had all that shit happen. I mean, that movie is like the movie Office Space. I worked in an office exactly like that movie Office, and Breakfast Club was, I mean, it's exactly like the detention that I was in. I mean, it was like watching real life play out. So to say those characters are alien, you didn't go to high school in the 80s.
He's not incorrect. They're alien to him.
They're alien to him. That's
didn't
true.
Match in any way, shape, or form. Nobody acts like that now. Nobody that he's known acts like that now. Why would that even be something that people would care about? Because at the time, contextually, it made sense.
At the time, that movie was like all the rage for high schoolers. I mean, it went over. There's a couple movies while I was in high school that went over. Purple Rain, just that kind of changed everything. You know. There's some other, but John Hughes was like huge while I was in high school. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, National Lampoon Vacation. He wrote that. I mean, we're talking, Uncle Buck. I mean, we're talking about freaking classic movies, man. So this guy isn't a hack, dude.
No, he's not.
I said that to trigger you.
Oh, I know you did. I know you did. I'm cool with you.
I said to
I respect your opinion. Don't get me wrong.
I was like, I think Gamertron is doing something because it's a YouTube.
I fell
thing,
into the
and
trap.
That's what it
I
is.
fell into
Well,
it.
no, it's not entirely.
Well, it's
YouTube thing.
entertaining.
It's not a troll thing. I was raising my voice for the sake of if I don't raise my voice, if I don't put some more emotion in here, it's going to be a boring video because I'm just going to be saying I didn't like this, I don't agree with this, and it's just going to be me saying that over and over again.
That's why
so
I said
I got to do something for 15 minutes. And again, Vlogtron show, it's unscripted. I didn't even script the thing.
I know you
all
did
on the fly.
Yeah, no, and that's why I said it was entertaining because we're talking about it.
Yeah, and Graham is saying nothing wrong with calling someone a hack. It's opinion. I understand that, but I'm just saying I don't think you were familiar with his other body of work. You know what I mean?
Well, I've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I did like that movie, but I liked that movie because it was a good movie.
It's like throwing a rock at Ghostbusters. You can't do it without a lot of other people saying you're a fucking idiot. Yep. Because whether that comes
that's
off
Ivan
as
Reitman. Yeah, that's totally different. Yeah.
Whether it's objectively a good movie or not doesn't matter. Yeah. It ended up being a good movie, like with Society.
It's a class. It's considered a classic.
But critics aside, critics always do not matter, and this goes back to games too. No Man's Sky, for example, did a horrible job in marketing, but is it a good game? It's actually not a bad game at all. It's not a bad game. A lot of people admit that too. They just don't want to pay the money for it, and they don't like being lied to.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But they will admit the people that enjoyed it because it was their cup of tea. Yes. Now the people that wanted something different, like they wanted to play a My Little Pony game and they got spaceships, they're going to be upset. Or they wanted to play Halo and they got this instead. Yeah, they're going to be upset.
Yeah, that's just not being a smart consumer. That's not being a smart consumer.
No, that's not even all their fault, especially if they were being misdirected by what was being said too. Like like some people said.
Yeah, true. There was what was being said, but if you're a smart consumer, you also look at what's being shown. And if you paid attention to No Man's Sky, you would know that
some
what
of those
was being
visuals
said
were bullshit too. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So
but yeah, those visuals, those trailers. The thing about No Man's Sky is, and the thing that immediately set off red flags for me. There was no just natural gameplay that wasn't from the devs.
Right.
Like there was no YouTubers, there were no media outlets that got to play it before release. So I'm like, okay, something's up here. Other games, like the media, like say what you will about IGN and GameSpot and all these other places, but at least they show raw gameplay of them playing it before the game releases, so that you get an idea of what you're going into. Even with Doom, the media got a chance to show off the single player. Like there were live streams, remember? Like I believe Xbox brought the devs over and they did a live stream of the single player campaign weeks before the release of the game. And I was able to it
was a different build from what I remember.
Oh yeah,
I know they've changed some things, but at least they did that. At least you saw gameplay. This goes back to the whole thing about E3 and any big gaming convention that tries to, show off new games. People should know better by trailers. They should know that that's mostly a little bullshit. And if it's not in-game rendered, actual gameplay footage, then be fucking wary.
The thing about No Man's Sky is you never saw a person and a computer or a person with a controller in their hands just play the game. That was what set off red flags for me with No Man's Sky. And Be a smart consumer here. Something's not up. How come we're only seeing trailers? There's nothing but trailers. Where's all the natural gameplay? Show us some natural gameplay. We didn't see any. As a matter of fact, Sean Murray advised against it, which was very fishy because when people got the game early, he said, nobody upload gameplay, please. We want everybody to play the game at the same time and experience it at the same time.
Yeah,
like,
that's horseshit.
What?
Yeah, it's
Well,
like
that's
you're.
what's going on with Bethesda now too.
Yeah, it's-
Nobody play the game until you buy it, and then everyone play at the same time, and we're gonna have your money.
Plus Sean Murray on talk shows with that glassy-eyed, forced grin on his face, where he wasn't actually talking about the game. He was just agreeing with shit that people were saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Seth Meyers or whoever was asking.
He didn't actually answer. Did you notice, Kevin? He didn't actually answer questions.
He didn't. He just agreed with whatever.
Exactly.
Hey,
If they asked-
can you run into your buddies? Yeah, you can run into your buddies. With a forced
Buddies.
grin, glassy-eyed
He
look.
just said,
Yeah.
buddies. Yeah, they're buddies.
Yeah.
You,
Is it space combat? Yeah,
Run?
there's
Yes,
space
you can run.
combat. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, buddies.
Elaborate
said
on
the
that.
words,
Oh,
just
I
not together.
can't elaborate on that. I want it to be a surprise. That's just so. That's just so fishy. So
Well,
we should get
we're
back
beating
to the
this dead
Breakfast
horse
Club.
again.
We should go back to the Breakfast Club, but I just want to say, isn't that kind of like, despite all the negatives around No Man's Sky, isn't that, I guess, kind of an accomplishment of the game? Because it's months after that game's released, and we're still talking about it.
like,
It's a bad accomplishment, though. That's
but
the
isn't it
problem.
an
True.
accomplishment that the Breakfast Club came out 30 years ago, and somebody recommended you watch that movie?
Oh, no, my dad's friend. I watched the movie with my dad.
Yeah.
And
Here's the funny thing. That, like, just kind of, like, at least my opinion, that kind of supported my my opinion even more. Is my dad, he usually doesn't like movies. My dad usually likes everything he sees. I can't even name.
That's where you get it from.
There you go.
that's where I get what from.
Hey, my dog is telling me it's time to go. So just saying, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't get the question. Where do I get what from?
Liking everything.
Oh.
I'm messing with you. I'm not. I know you
Yeah,
don't.
Gamertron's top 100 games of 2016.
Every
Oh,
game that
God.
was released.
Yeah. Liked it. I liked it. How'd you feel about that? I liked it. But you don't like a classic Breakfast Club. Come on.
well,
man.
Well,
Stick to
I don't
video
like it.
games,
That's not a
Tron.
I can't
good
really
movie.
blame him. I mean, he's coming to it from a perspective of not having any of this hype,
Right.
not knowing anything about it. It's like going back to an old movie from the 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, looking at that and being like, why are they acting that way? It's stupid.
Yeah.
Why aren't they cussing? They're saying stupid words in place of cuss words. What's wrong with these people? Why are like film noirs
Jed, I don't
especially?
think there's a misunderstanding here. It's not
No, there's
because
not.
the time period. No, there is a
There's really
misunderstanding
not.
here.
Because I've watched movies that take place in different time periods. I've watched movies that have come out in different times, and I like those movies. I love the TV show Hogan's Heroes.
Oh,
That
I do
came
too.
out-
I love it. Yeah.
and I love it because it's a good show. It doesn't
But
matter
see,
what
that-
year it
I'm
came
sorry.
out.
Yeah,
or the,
but
When
what
you
does
say
that
it's a
mean?
good
I
show,
mean,
that doesn't.
yeah.
It's very subjective.
Yeah.
And it's okay that it's subjective.
That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
you're trying to say that
Well,
those things don't matter, but they do matter. The fact that they talk differently, they act differently,
Yeah.
their humor is different, their
Yes, it
context of
matters.
everything is
Yes.
all different.
Yes, I know. Yes, it matters in that
Yeah.
sense, but I'm talking more about, at least from my perspective, like it doesn't matter like if they're not acting like the way we do today. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for specific qualities of what I consider to be a good movie, and The Breakfast Club does not have those qualities. The movie
Okay.
wasn't entertaining. Well,
Well, entertaining. I'm sorry, that's not an
That's
objective
subjective.
value.
I think it's very entertaining.
Yes, it wasn't entertaining to me. I'm not.
There you go.
I'm not
Right.
speaking
Yeah,
objective
that's
here.
okay.
I'm talking to me. Like there was nothing entertaining. There was barely a story to speak of, and there
I'm
were
not
there were
trying to get
useless
you
characters
to,
that.
to think differently at all.
Not
I
every
didn't
movie
say
is
you
just-
would. I
yeah.
didn't
Not
say you
every
would. I
movie
didn't
has
say
the
you
same
would.
goal.
I'm
You
just saying,
can't
now you're
cookie
being
cutter.
defensive. Wow.
No, you're being defensive.
You
What are
can't
talking
cook-
about?
Twice.
But Gamertron, you're cookie cuttering
I
your
was just clarifying that I don't want you to get the feeling that I'm trying to
Yeah.
change your opinion. No,
And I
then
didn't
you're like,
say you did. I didn't say you.
that's defensive right there.
How is
No,
that defensive?
because you're answering something
All right,
that doesn't
all
need to
right.
be answered.
I'm
You're
just
defending
saying-
against something that doesn't need to be defended.
I'm not
Yeah.
defending. I'm trying to clarify if there's a misunderstanding because I don't want you thinking that that's what I'm thinking because that's not what I'm thinking.
I hear
you
the
lost
words
me
you
there,
say, and that's where
you lost
I
me
know
there,
what you
Edward
think.
Enigma.
That's all.
But I'm just saying, is The Breakfast Club is one of those movies that has stood the test of time. It's still considered a classic. It's considered. You can look it up. Overwhelmingly positive. It's considered the best high school movie ever made. It is.
I gotta disagree with that.
Oh,
entirely.
okay, well,
like,
okay.
There's
I'm just saying.
I find it almost cartoonifies what really
Yes.
goes on in high school.
Kind of crazy about a movie being entertaining like that it would do something like that.
Yeah.
It could
Not
have done
everything
it
has to
better.
be realistic. That's
It doesn't
really
need to be realistic,
Yeah.
but
It
you can
didn't-
be.
yeah.
But you can have elements of realism and still be entertaining.
It's very realistic.
Well, there we go back to the entertainment. We're not going to resolve on this, so let's.
The Breakfast Club is a
just
very
split
realistic
hairs.
movie.
Okay. Answer me this count from the standpoint of being a good movie, because I remember I don't know if it was a live stream or a comment that you brought this up. Okay. Explain. Okay. Now we can admit that the Breakfast Club does have some problems as a movie. Can we like it's not a perfect movie? Am I right in saying that?
That's way too general, Gamertron. I'm saying that I went to high school in the 80s, and
This
these
is
characters.
starting to sound like
This
just
movie
agree with me. Just agree with
encapsulates.
him, okay?
I'm not. That's not what I'm going for, Jack.
Okay.
Don't
You're-
manipulate the
I'm not
narrative.
manipulating.
Yeah,
I'm
you
being
are.
entertaining.
This movie was
That's the
trying to.
difference.
This movie was trying to encapsulate the teenage angst of high school in the 80s. It did it perfectly.
That doesn't make it a good movie, though. Just because it encapsulates something like Transformers
here's the thing.
encapsulates robots, that doesn't make it a good movie.
Not
Okay.
every movie has to be perfect. in order
Define
to be
good movie,
I'm
entertaining
not
man.
and
saying
good.
it needs to be perfect.
Define-
I'm not saying it needs to be perfect. But
You need to
what-
watch
what I
Dead
want to
Poets
get to-
Society because
I
you're
did,
trying.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
I
you're.
love Dead
But
Poets
you're
Society.
going against the principles of what Robin Williams was teaching in the Dead Poets Society. That you can't sit there and go by the scale of what's a good movie. The fact that people still think it's a critically good movie pretty
Okay,
much
I
makes
think
it a good
I
movie.
think we watched
Here's the
Dead-
other
30
thing.
years
from
later.
Dead Poets Society, because I got a different message from Dead Poets Society.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing that I'm going to get down to is that movie spoke to you. That movie you connected to
Right.
because of the messaging. The other one didn't. So therefore, one is good and one's not. That's not as simple as that, though. I'm
Right.
not trying to say it is, but that's kind of what that's starting to sound like.
Yeah.
It has a little bit to do with it, probably. I wouldn't say that I would like a movie that I don't connect to. I would have to be like some kind of movie critic that's super objective, which is bullshit because you can never be super objective.
Oh yeah.
With
yeah.
arts, with
I
arts,
didn't
there's
like
always some
Stranger
level of
Things.
subjectivity.
Is it a good series? Yes. But I didn't like it. I'm not going to
Exactly.
sit there and say it's a bad TV show because I didn't like
Well,
it.
Well, it's because you
unfortunately-
didn't like it because you're a horrible person count. That's why.
Well, I
How
mean,
could you
so
not like that series?
it,
I'm fucking with you, dude. Don't try.
no,
to
no,
be
no.
serious here. Yeah.
I just didn't.
Okay.
I mean, it was okay. I mean, I'm just saying maybe that's a bad example, but I think it was a well done.
No, it's a good example.
Yeah.
It is.
Exactly.
Some people
Well,
like me. I hate the '80s most of the time.
Oh, I love the
But
80s,
that
that's
movie was-
that's what
that
makes
show was
things
pretty
different.
damn
But
good.
Yeah.
I'm not picking on Tron's opinion. I'm picking on the rationale that he used to form that opinion. That's the
Given
only
that
thing.
The
it
rationale
was-
they formed that.
Given that it was off the cuff,
Yeah, that's
we're also
that's
giving
true.
him a lot of shit for that.
Yeah,
too.
that's true.
You know, so
Okay,
I
but
think if
can-
he had to sit down and write,
And
like,
right, yes.
yeah,
if I
that
could,
might
like,
be a little bit different. He
To
might
say
be a
the
little bit
characters are
fairer.
alien on a time period that you didn't live and that
Well,
you
that's true. It's
Yeah,
a fact
that's
for him.
ridiculous. That's
I watched
ridiculous.
Dead Poet Society. They were in a different time, in a different culture, and I still connected to the characters and I understood their motivations, and
Right.
they were good characters.
I think it's also the type of movie. Like I said, John Hughes created that type of movie.
Yeah,
that teen, angsty,
Exactly.
teen, whatever, you know.
That's kind of a
different.
comedy, but it's not. It's kind of a hybrid.
16
It's,
Candles.
yeah, 16 Candles he did.
It's silly over the top. It
Pretty in
really
Pink,
is.
all that shit. Yeah.
People criticize, I think the Japanese guy that played in 16 Candles saying, oh, he's a stereo. But that's how his movies were.
Right.
They kind of pushed things over the top.
Yeah, look at-
but
look
also
at-
used a lot of commonality.
He wrote all the
thinking.
vacation movies, the National Lampoon Vacation, Chevy Chase, all that. I mean, that's just kind of his style. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a classic. I mean, he
I
wrote
agree with that.
he wrote
That's
and
a great
directed that.
movie.
Yeah,
That's a great movie,
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller. That's an entertaining movie.
Yeah.
That's a good. However, now the thing I wanted to ask you with, because I'm curious to see if you think this is a problem with the film too.
Okay.
Is the janitor character not completely worthless and has no reason to exist in the movie? The janitor
What?
character.
No,
What?
because he's
Are you
part of
kidding
that.
me?
He's part of that ecosystem where we used to make fun of the janitors. The janitors used to walk around our high school, and we used to make fun of them.
Right.
We used to go,
Consider
"Oh,
them to
look,
be
he's the janitor,"
non-heroes.
and
Oh my god! I
Wh-
can't believe you're finding a reasoning for the janitor character. He's a useless character.
No, he's
You don't have to
not.
find a reason. The
he
point
was
of him
actually
being
the
there-
guy that put and we always wondered, what did the teachers like? Did any of the teachers like? Any of the women teachers have because there was like a rumor in our high school that like one of the teachers was banging the janitor. Like, what the hell's going on in that inner workings of the high school? And the janitor was like, man, he's telling that teacher, man, you're getting old in your ways. You were just like these kids. And now you're putting them down. I got you for 2 and 2 the rest of your natural life and all that. I mean, that's fucking epic, dude. And I love the way he broke down the relationship between, like, the janitor even saw by making those comments. The janitor made the guy think, maybe I need to cut these kids a break a little bit because he's being.
Yeah, but that didn't go anywhere. Like after.
So
like,
it doesn't
this
have
supposed-
to. That
But it
whole
didn't
little
conclude
scene.
anything.
That whole
for
little
the
scene
viewer.
was pivotal for the movie.
It's for the viewer.
It
Yeah.
was pivotal, but it didn't lead to anything. It didn't produce anything.
It did
It-
for the viewer. That's
it-
the whole point. It's that's
Yeah.
the character there that's putting that other guy. You know, because
What'd you want him to do? Hit him upside the head with a mop
Right, you don't
handle or
like this
something? I don't
teacher,
understand what you were.
No.
None of
But
the students have.
You're
any power over
thinking.
him.
You're thinking. This is a movie that you don't. You're thinking way too deep in this movie.
That's what I was
Yeah.
saying earlier too. Is like you're giving a little bit.
You're putting
You're
this.
taking it up to a level that
Yeah,
it
you're
Okay, so
putting
are
expectations.
people-
It's not Shakespeare.
So
Yeah.
are we putting too high expectations on Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen then?
Huh?
What? I'm sorry. What was the question?
People are incredibly critical and analyze Revenge of the Fallen for how much of a terrible movie it is. Like,
Oh, that's because
so I
people
have to turn off my
today
brain
have
for that
a
movie.
platform to talk about things, and it makes them annoying as fuck. See, everyone was always thinking these things, but now, like what we're
Revenge
doing
of the
right
Fallen. Is that the second one?
Yeah, that's the second Transformers.
Well, even
movie.
Michael Bay admitted that movie was rushed. Rushed on every aspect.
Yeah.
He had to rush to get that movie out. Now, Transformers 1, I think, is brilliant.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
movie. That's a
I
Transformers
didn't think it
1
was
did.
brilliant. I thought it was okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It was not bad.
I think he did as good a job as he could have taking the Transformers universe, which I
Not
grew
every-
up on. I saw the very first episode, 1984 again. What is it about 1984 that's so great? I mean, we had Breakfast Club and Weird Science
Let's
and all
bring
that.
this back a little bit. Not every creation that you create is going to be accepted and widely thought of as the
Yeah.
best thing for everyone. And
Right.
20 years down
Exactly.
the line, no one's going to look at everything that you did
Right.
and consider it the same way that when you first, created that. And that's the thing about being a creative and an artist is you're always going to be criticized regardless of
Yeah.
anything that you try to acquiesce to. If that current set of people that you have likes what you're doing, but then you change it up, guess what? They're going to fucking hate you for changing it up.
Right.
Most of the times, that's how that works. That's humanity. We don't like change.
I think
kind of
Michael
embrace
Bay
it, but-
handled the Transformers universe about as well as you could for a live action CGI fest. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
like
For the
Michael Bay.
first one.
I like Michael Bay, but he doesn't have to be the perfect director because not every fucking director is like an outstanding Italian master, or something
Well,
like that.
yeah, Michael
It's
Bay's
just
explosions
George Lucas.
and
He
quick
made some good
one-liners
movies,
and
then he made some shitty movies.
it's popcorn. It's popcorn movie.
Yeah. But the thing is, we have this like availability of time and like resource to bullshit. That's why I like this B3 beer bullets and bullshit about things that don't really matter that much.
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
entertainment for us. This is
exactly.
our time.
Exactly. That's why I said I took that video like I take Shoe on Head or Undoomed or any of those shitty YouTube creators as
Don't shit
entertainment.
on Street
I
Fighter.
take it as entertainment. If I take it any other way, there's something wrong with me.
Oh, I take
know,
it.
it's
I take
entertaining.
their points as the absolute truth. The
Hey, Count.
fuck
you're
SJWs, man.
being sarcastic about that, but a lot of people would.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, it's all good time. let's get
to
out
go
of here,
back
guys.
to Just before we do,
Oh, yeah,
go
sure,
back.
sure. Go ahead.
You didn't answer. Okay, Count.
Oh my God.
Count. Just look at it this way. Like with you say that the janitor was pivotable. Pivotable. Blah, blah, blah,
That
pivotable.
little scene added an extra layer of the thought process of the teacher that had them into detention, because it's always a teacher versus student.
Yes.
But
dynamic.
he reminded the teacher. He was there
You're a
just to
human
remind
being.
the
You're
teacher
not all powerful.
that
Did
you were
he
the
really
kid.
remind the teacher though? Did we?
And we
Here's-
had dirt.
Here's what I think.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a better movie count if before the kids just left, like they actually encountered the teacher again, and he took what the janitor said to heart, and maybe talked to him differently, maybe apologized. So that
Apologize?
But you know what? Here's the thing.
One scene
Real life
leads
isn't
to
always like
another.
that either, though. You
Yeah.
want things to happen that way, but they're not going to.
They-
Maybe he could have for the movie to make it a smooth transition.
Exactly.
But sometimes you don't
For the
want
sake
that.
of the movie.
It might be something he
Well,
dwells
that's
on
like
for
wanting
years.
a perfect ending to
Yeah.
a movie.
People
Not
It's not
don't
about
change
wanting-
like that.
It's not about wanting a perfect ending. It's about actually developing these characters and seeing.
But
a
that's not a
story
realistic
They did develop.
development. That's not a realistic.
You guys were
The
just saying,
janitor's
you guys were
role did
just
not
saying
need
that
to be
movies
a
shouldn't
big
be
role.
realistic. You guys were just saying that movies shouldn't be realistic and based on
See,
reality.
now we're going in circles and we're splitting hairs on things. This is why I didn't want to have this conversation.
Yeah,
I want
well.
to close out because 40 minutes over 3 hours. Come on, guys.
Holy
we didn't
Yeah.
even
shit!
do.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you're not watching the time?
No,
Shadow
it's-
Warrior 2, if anyone in chat wants Shadow Warrior 2, you have to have
Oh,
Steam
shit.
on PC, and I will send it to you. We'll be friends on Steam, and I will send you the game. Yeah, let me know within the next couple minutes or so.
Too much 80s talk as well.
Uh,
Somebody said. I can talk
Look,
about
I
the
like
80s all
what this
day.
one
I
Bazul
love
said, the Highlander was the shit. There can be only one.
oh, Highlander was awesome.
Oh, that movie sucked. It just
Highlander's awesome.
there shouldn't have been. I mean, he should apologize for cutting people up, and yeah, there should have been a logical conclusion. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here, man!
Oh,
Come
yes,
on.
yes, because a fantasy movie should have a
Yeah,
logical
Jesus
conclusion with
Christ.
swords
They're all
and immortal
fantasy, man.
beings.
They're all, thank you.
Yeah.
Cal.
Oh boy. Anyway.
Yeah.
But in terms of Shadow War 2, since we're giving it away in a
Yep.
few minutes, I've
It,
really...
Or not. Maybe it's going to hold on. Maybe I'll have it again.
Oh, okay.
For next fucking week. We'll do it. We'll try to give it away then, or I'll just do a live stream and give it away. That probably
well,
would happen.
Giving away some
okay.
wang too.
Yeah.
The double wang. Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, we gave away one, and then part 2. You know. So,
Mm.
okay. Well, if you do, and you happen to be in the chat, and you want to hit me up in a bit, let me know, and I'll send it to you. If not, it'll be around for next podcast, maybe. Closing statements, thoughts, whatever.
Somebody's gonna want this game. God damn it.
It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't remember ever seeing a live stream title with giving away a game and people.
Graham
didn't
wants
want
it.
He didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I'm
I
sorry.
won't do it if I'm the only one.
What are we talking
anyways,
about?
They'll get back to me. People know me. Blah 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 blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. If not, I'll do it next time or blah blah blah. Who cares? Anything that you guys want to say? Closing? No. Yes.
I
maybe?
think I've
What?
said enough. Go ahead.
Well, I want to thank you, everybody, for listening to the podcast on however you're listening or whatever you're listening to it on. I want to thank everyone watching this live on Twitch. We always appreciate the viewership. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for supporting the Be Free Gaming Cast. Be sure to hit us up, download us, check us out, do all the things to us. You know you want to.
Whoa! My dog's bladder is in pain right now.
Yeah, you gotta go.
He's like,
I had
"Please,
my cat on the stream earlier.
Please.
Up in my
we're
lap.
good. Statement's good. Hope everyone has a wonderful night.
Everybody, check
I
out
need
Breakfast
to
Club.
go.
Great movie.
Oh, it's terrible.
Find out for yourself.
Is that it? Yeah, make your own.
Watch his watch Gamertron's video after that.
Yeah,
Or watch
do
a
you
better
agree with
one.
Count or do you agree with Gamertron? Let's put it that
Oh.
way. Yeah, we'll